What's up, nigga?
He think he know everything, he don't know that it's room for improvement. Lit up, start up, move. I'm stuck in my money, I know that I'm coolin'. You know that I'm coolin'. Stay all the way cause I know what I'm doing. Teaching the youth cause I'm an influence. He don't know nothing but the way that he talk. He don't got money by the way that he dress. Twinning them, baby, you know we the best. Standing on business and run up and check. Wasting my time, I don't know about that. I'm a profit that check right off the bat. You don't stand for nothing, you gon' fall for anything. OG just told me I gotta stay focused. You know I'm the one cause I put us in motion. Just give me the bar, I'ma score and you know this. I'm a profit 4-5, you know I'm a hoe. I'ma keep on going, there's nothing I missed. Going on trips that stay on the list. You gotta stay down and be patient, that's it. You got to your goals, they see that you lit. Stock up the rights, now I'm going on trips. I'ma keep going till I go to the end. We ain't taking no losses, we taking them guys. Y'all talk about money, I don't need no more friends. Y'all talk about money, I don't care what they say. 1K in a day, that's a cool little day. I step back and shoot like I'm playing no 2K. I watch these females, don't fall for the bait. My money on time, ain't no delay. I try, but the real don't blend with the fake. He said he gon' check, he gon' fall on his face. He know everything, he don't know that it's room for improvement. Lit up, start up, move. I'm stuck in my money, I know that I'm coolin'. You know that I'm coolin'. Stay all the way cause I know what I'm doing. Teaching the youth cause I'm an influence. He don't know nothing but the way that he talk. He don't got money by the way that he wait. Twinning them, baby, you know we the best. Standing on business and run up and check. Wasting my time, I don't know about that. I'm a profit that check right off the bat. If you don't stand for nothing, you gon' fall for anything. OG just told me I gotta stay focused. You know I'm the one cause I put us in motion. Just give me the bar, I'ma score and you know this. I'ma score and you know this. Free tech.
Double R produced
Hey, what's up, nigga?
Black African power. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee. Man, y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killing the house. And I'm coming to do what I got to do. And I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm standing tall. I'm standing strong. Bobby banging this bitch. Y'all know what it is, man. We're on the drive-by, man. We're going to get in and get out and shoot them up and get up out of here, yo. Great conversations, man. I had to realize, first of all, man, how y'all doing, man? Pseudo Killers just had a great show. Shout out to the Pseudo Killers, man, and all those that are worthy to be around those that will continue to have intelligent conversation. If you're just in it for the howling, screaming, and the gaslighting and all that, yo, you ain't worthy to be a serial killer, yo. This ain't how we doing it. Nope. We're gonna keep growing. For all I meant to say this, for all the pseudo killers, man. Just had a good business meeting, and we moving forward. Got something coming down the pipe. It's all in the community, right? And yeah. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming through. I see you, Cedric, yo. What's going on, man? Pseudo Killer Official, man. I see you. Kick Door Low, man. What's good with you? Pseudo Killer Official, man. Timmy Turner, what it do, man? Slim Bay, Pseudo Killer Official, man. What it do? What it do? So yeah, we in here, man. Y'all see the title, man. We're gonna get it about the way real quick here, man. We don't play with these guys, man. No, they very, very flagrant in their approach to miseducate all the time, right? And some things you just can't ignore. You know, when people want to have fun and to think it's fun at your expense, man, you should always never stand for that, man. I'm not the guy you have fun on, yo. I don't do that. Yeah, that's not how we play, man. We wanna, we deal with accuracy, man. Don't throw no dirt on my name. In this whole Egyptian conversation, I can't think of none of them that actually had a source that everybody know what their source is. Y'all know what my source is, right? Shit, I only had the one, right? And the one that came off of the Wikipedia article. Hold on. Y'all know what it is, right? The Egyptian race controversy. Look, Egyptian race controversy. Y'all know like the back of y'all damn hand by now. And y'all know since the damn argument started, yo, I've always had the same source. Right? And then the Wikipedia article, here you go. Look, I gotta keep reinforcing this. Right? Right. This is it. Y'all know what it is, man. And this is coming from UNESCO. Y'all know this, right? Man, this is like clockwork. This is UNESCO, nigga. Everybody know it's UNESCO. Here you go. Look, this is it. Okay, look, scholars reject the notion explicit in the notion of black and white. Look, they reject that, scholars, right? Now, I'm not a scholar, yo, but don't I present scholarly material, yo? So imagine me running this quick stop sign right here, yo, at the beginning of the article. Then y'all would think I was a nut. But you actually got people out there promoting that I was trying to say the Egyptians was black, yo. How? When my first source tells you explicit. Y'all want to look up the word explicit mean? Look. So I'm saying me with all the mouth, right? I got all the mouth, right? You get people like, I'm going to start calling them homo ignoramuses. It would have to be. You know what I'm saying? Explicit. Look. So y'all see what it is, man. Like we not using that. The notion of black and white. Okay? Simple. It says that the ancient Egyptians was racially homogenous. We know that. What does that mean? Meaning like it wasn't set, like it wasn't a homogenous group. Okay, that's meaning something, right? Then it say instead the skin color was varied between peoples of Lower Egypt and Upper Egypt. Yeah, y'all done seen me play the video with Hawaus say that the Upper Egyptians is dark skinned, but they not Negroes. Right? So that follows suit. We talked about Jablonski, Gina Jablonski, right? In the skin map, the theory of skin. I've showed you the different variations of skin. Now I showed you the hands on it now, all that, right? So how now hold on. There's another piece here that's very, very important. Hold on. Okay. Main present day controversy, scholarly biases, historical interpretations, right? All right. I'm gonna go down the whole thing. All right. I ain't reading all this. Of course not. But this is the, you know what I'm saying? This is it. You know what we never used more past that. We never had to. Right? We never had to go past this. This was always the solid foundation. So if the dudes around me was solid in what they was talking about, right? Why would anybody fight after I said this, y'all? That go for everybody, yo. Look. UNESCO, look. Okay. Look, UNESCO, the General History of Africa. Look, y'all see that? Y'all, I mean, I tell you what's hilarious, yo. And we talked about, I kind of touched on it on the Pseudo Killer show. And I think, you got to know when to actually tap out, right? So you, if you're arguing with people, right? And Domo, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Intelligent brother there, man. I support everything Domo do. So if you're talking, having a conversation, right, and you're talking UNESCO, and y'all don't got the 9 volumes, y'all got the other the other 6 in my garage, 7, right? What they don't even have the volumes. You can go on the website and you can get the PDFs. Maybe they doing that, right? But last time I checked, when I was looking through the comments community, they was all misrepresenting the daggone Cairo symposium. Now, see, this is my thing here, y'all. Like I'll be at a conference in Georgia, okay, the Black Geologists, okay? Big up to Mo, all right, for that donation to make sure I get there. Big up to Mo. That's love. That was a hell of a ticket. So why am I telling you these things? Because when we're having these wild conversations, and it's like the OK Corral, right? Where everybody's shooting out, right? Everybody got their thing, right? You know, for some wild reason, each side clumped me in with their thing. Okay? And the audience seemed to couldn't make the determination. You got Jabari and them side, Reggie and them side, right? You got Concrete Corey Head and Sheffrin with the Egyptian name. I want you to know that Sheffrin has an Egyptian name. He has an Egyptian name. Y'all didn't know that? Khafre, right? He actually has an Egyptian pharaoh name, right? But yet he think it's funny when somebody want clarity on Egyptian civilization. That's a fucking joke to them. But you named it Concrete Corey Head. He named his kid after an Egyptian name. But that's funny when I make the statement that, hey, man, you want to tell your kids that the Egyptians are Mediterranean? But that's a joke? Ha, 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 I can't believe you didn't. Wait a minute, you named your kid? I'm saying my kids, all my kids got African names. How is that funny if I tell them where West Africa is or what it is? How is that funny? My daughter got a Nubian name. How's that funny if I tell her, if I teach my kids African history? Why is that a high joke? That's not like teaching your kids that they Hebrews or Native Americans, is it? I'm not teaching my kids that they Egyptians. But how's that funny to say, yo, I want to get that accurately right when y'all got kids named that, when you got Egyptian names? It's the foolery of men. Interesting to me. Ask Sheffrin, he got an Egyptian name. Ask Concrete Corey, yo, what he named his kid. Why is that funny? I don't think that's funny. I think it's admirable of them to have a name off the continent. And so y'all don't teach y'all kids a little bit of African history? Y'all don't do that? So I'm sitting around a bunch of guys that I'm thinking, you know, don't mind passing on some scientific literacy and some African history, no matter what part of the goddamn continent it is. And really, yo, they thought the shit was a joke. So the whole time I'm sitting there serious. And I learned a lesson out of that. Sometimes you got to think a little more highly of yourself, yo. It's like I let them bring me down, beat me down to their level, yo. And kill me with foolery. It's time enough for him, though. So now that everything has came out, Chief X and killed itself, you don't see them making videos about Chief X. They still support Chief X. They still support that crazy shit that guy was teaching. Go figure that. He done took his videos down. Now he putting up old videos. I'm gonna get him for that. He don't even know the old videos he putting up, still killing them. So I don't even understand this. Nobody's making statements against how wrong and wild a guy was using an invading race theory. So I think the point I'm going to make is I was actually talking to a group of guys who actually was just learning the conversation in the middle of having the damn conversation. All of them. All of them. Chief X claimed he don't know Petrie. But you're promoting his theory. And not a scientific theory, just a regular old theory. So if you're in a conversation with me about the demographics and the history and who the Egyptians are, right? And there's Egyptology involved. You got to use Egyptology. And you don't know who Petrie, I thought you know who Petrie is. then I probably shouldn't be talking to you. You should sit your ass in the class. Concrete Corey here. He didn't know what the invading race theory was. Why am I having these conversations? Why am I arguing with these? They take it light and it's funny. That's my fault. Y'all won't ever do that again. See, I don't got nobody around me, yo. See? I ain't got to argue with nobody. Right here. I had to figure that out. So if you ain't up for the good conversations, right? I ain't the one to play with because I'm on mine. So let's get Rich started here. So this is a chef video with the Egyptian name, God Chef. Now, y'all didn't know that? Got Egyptian name. Yeah. Go figure that. Here's a response to their video. The ha-ha and kikiing, all funny. The hilarious shit. It's funny. Yeah. Smoke a little weed and talk shit about Ankh. That's how we do it. Drink a little drink. You know, Chief X be drunk, talk crazy about me. What's right here? First of all, you see on the screen a deadly source. They don't want to talk about this source on the screen, though. See, it says, listen, the screen itself kills the whole thing. No matter what they thought I was saying or how I thought I was saying it, right? If I'm the guy that follows sources, right, then I'm not going to go past the source. But what it do say is, it say African ancestors of Egypt and Nubia from the Green Sahara. They laughed and ha-ha and kikied about this source. Oh, yeah, you did. All that, right? Played the game. How you laughing at that source? And none of them actually responded to that source, y'all. I kill them and they move on to something else. So this is the conversation we was having about the Mediterranean, right? So I made sure I got about at least 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 sources on what I'm talking about. Make them use some sources. Make them use ChatGPT. Yeah, I hear them. They keep calling it Dr. Ben Pseudo, but they can't put that in ChatGPT and get that. That's something they're saying. So I want y'all to pay close attention to what everybody is saying and then what they put up on the screen. So if they, for example, if you're saying that Dr. Ben is pseudo, right? And you put a claim that Dr. Ben made in there and they say, yeah, that claim is pseudo, don't let them attribute that to Dr. Ben, though. Right? Yet Dr. Ben might have said that. Right? You may have gotten that from somewhere else. ChatGPT kind of knows the sources of claims and all that. Is wow, how serious ChatGPT. But just because you use a source is invalid or pseudo actually might not make you pseudo. See? Okay. So put Dr. Ben's name in ChatGPT like I did the other day, and you'll find out where he is in the grand scheme of things. Put Chief X's name in ChatGPT, and you'll figure out where he's at in the grand scheme of things. Put my name in there, you'll figure out real fast. ChatGPT is lethal. Okay, so the reason I gave y'all sources in invading race, not the invading race, Egyptian race controversy, right? Because it always talk about the Egyptians not being black and not white, right? But indigenous Africans, okay? So at that point, how could I be saying they black, y'all? And if you listen to them talk in all these videos, right? They'll say what I didn't say and mistakenly understand what I did say. Chief X does the same thing. He'll clump me in with Reggie and all them about the black, right? They'll clump me in because I was with them on certain issues that they was right about in this whole conversation. But yet they'll clump me in what they call them black. But wait a minute, I am an evolutionist, meaning I study evolution. I stand by it, and I stand by it as a tool to understand African history, no matter where that is in Africa, no matter where that is in the diaspora. So I stand by evolution. I talk about the statements made against race. Y'all know that I understand race is a social construct more than anybody else. So how is it that they can even get close to convincing you that although I'm not saying it, I really mean that they black. And that would put me against my whole thing of evolution. That would put me against Charles Darwin. That would put me against everything that I teach, y'all. And they've bunkered in and they have convinced themselves of that. Chief X said all the time, I'm just saying they're black. I wasn't saying that. I couldn't have been saying that because it's a social construct. And me said it's an anachronism because you can read it right here on the article. It tells you what to do and what not to do. It's anachronistic. Hold on. Wait a minute. You definitely can't say it. You actually can't say it. Hold on. Let me see. I think they use the word anachronistic. That's where I got the damn word from. Look, I got the word from here. What the hell y'all thought I just dreamed up the word? Remember? Anachronistic. Mainstream scholars reject the notion that Egypt was white or black. They reject it, but don't I always try to bring mainstream scholarship? And out of God, don't we teach classes on what the consensus is, y'all? So they're actually lying. I'm not that stupid to go against my own source. Mainstream scholars reject the notion that Egypt was white or black civilization. They maintain that applying the modern notion of black or white races to ancient Egypt is anachronistic. That means you're placing a colonized idea that occurred in the 1600s to a population that wouldn't even known about it. It's out of time and order. It say, in addition, look, and in the source here, let me see. The main source here is Black Vietnamese Visitors, Encyclopedia of Archaeology in Ancient Egypt, Astrocentrism, Mythical Past, and Imagined Homes. It say, in addition, scholars reject the notion implicit in the notion that black or white Egyptian hypothesis that this was Diop's. He's the one with the black hypothesis, right? But they say the black or white hypothesis because they had people calling them white and people calling them black. They say that the ancient Egyptians was racially homogenous. Instead, y'all, skin color varied between the peoples of Lower Egypt, Upper Egypt, and Nubia, who in various eras rose to power in ancient Egypt. Within Egyptian history, despite multiple foreign invasions. Look, let's check this out. The demographics were not, shifted substantially by large migrations. The guy Chief X tried to say that I was saying that the modern Egyptians wasn't Egyptians. How? My source tells you that the modern population had not been shifted that much, that the demographics has not been shifted substantially with large migrations. It's right here. So at this point, man, I suppose the baby just ride off into the sunset. Yo, but no, people who are trusted, people who I thought, you know what I'm saying, had at least enough respect, right? That if I read the source and don't add nothing to it, respect me for that. But they didn't. You know why? Because it wouldn't make a show. It wouldn't make for a good show now. That's why they keep lying. But here's my source. And this source is definitely coming from UNESCO. Because at the scientific conference, which I now start to understand, that people don't even know what a scientific conference is. How do I know that they don't know what a scientific conference is? They don't know what a scientific conference is because just because they come to a consensus at a scientific conference on Saturday doesn't mean that the shit going to be in the museum on Wednesday. It doesn't mean that. I thought the people around me understood that science rejects ideas, slow to accept ideas, slow to change. That's what science is, to its own detriment. How do you know I know this? Because I give you examples like Robert Sinclair. Who is Robert Sinclair? He was trying to measure the age of the earth. He made the first clean room because he kept getting the wrong readings. All right, kept getting the wrong readings of lead because they was trying to measure the lead in the atmosphere, which would give them the approximate age of the earth. It's a whole process. And so he did it. So when he did the test, he was like, it's too much lead. That doesn't make sense. So he developed the clean room, and he go in the clean room, and it's still that. He was like, man, how is that possible? It must just be in the atmosphere. It's not getting. I'm not getting it from things that are around. It's got to be in this damn atmosphere, right? And so he figured out that that America was poisoning themselves with leaded gas. Some of y'all not old enough to know that there was a time when you go to the gas station, it was just leaded gas, y'all. Now we have unleaded gas. And the reason we have unleaded gas because of Robert Sinclair. Now, why am I using this as an example? Because Robert Sinclair told them that, yo, based off my tests and my studies, right, that stuff you're using in the gas, which was kind of cheaper and it was stretching the gas, had lead in it. What he figured out was when he traced it back to the plants, people at the plants were actually dying from lead poisoning. So he realized that the product that they was using, something lead, I forget the name of it, right, that's put in the gas, was poisoning not only the workers, but poisoning the atmosphere, thus about to kill fucking humanity. Because we was poisoning ourselves with lead. And so he had a scientific fact. But guess we work for the oil companies. Ooh-wee. And so they fought him on it. So although he had this information, although he was the authority with this shit here, he was the foremost authority on this because he figured it out. It's not till 10, 12 years later that they called him back to Congress because he lost his job. He lost all his funding. And they was like, well, hold on, man. We got a person who understands all this. Let's get Sinclair back again. Oh, got him back. He presented this data again, right? And then all of a sudden they agree with him, and now they take the lead out the gas, and now you go to the gas station and get unleaded gas. And this is my example of how science is slow to act. Now, how about science slow to act on a topic when you're dealing with people of color? Or when you're dealing with Africa? Oh, man, that's going to move slow. When on a topic that's deeply rooted in racism, white supremacy. It's deeply rooted in the source of scientific racism. How about that topic? How fast you think that's going to move through the halls of science and literature? It's not till now. 3 years ago, where you find the Brooklyn Museum, where you find the Boston Museum start to have these artifacts and start to present work like this from the Green Sahara. And I'm telling you, they said this shit in 1974 at the Cairo Symposium. Am I making it? Look, it's all right here. And I said in this video, that's about 2-3 years ago. See, this is interesting for me. When I'm taking my time, I be cooking with hot grease. So I'm thinking that I'm sitting with individuals that know, even though they reached a consensus in 1974, that it's taking all the way now 50, 60 years later for us to start seeing the material. Because you got the old guard of Egyptology still promoting that nonsense. Mediterranean race, Middle Eastern race. Oh, you think I'm just making this up? You thinking I'm just doing this video tonight to make this up? Now I'm driving by and I'm shooting it up. I'm shooting them up and I'm moving on. Because I'm an intellectual gunfighter. You know how they say when you come for the king, yo, better get him. But they can't, because I use just one source, too. The one taking you to UNESCO, Wikipedia, and UNESCO. So they just really blowing talking to themselves. They convince a couple people, right? Because they don't know. They don't know. They think, yeah, because he hung out with Hassan and all them, he had to be saying he was black. Nah, I've been in Ngozi and them out. I already told you Ngozi, that's my man. I told you, girl, that's my man. They've been on that topic. They've been had me straight on that 14 years ago. That's why when they try to say me saying it, they never catch me saying it. They catch me saying something that they make me say that that's what they gotta mean that. That's how they do it. But I have not consistently taught anybody that the Egyptians are black people. I've consistently taught, and I don't speak in absolutes, right? Because I can slip and say it in the middle of trying to make a point, whatever it is. That's cool. We speak English here. We're humans. But I consistently teach that people in the Nile Valley are indigenous to Africa. Thus, I consistently teach this. And I use the same source to back it up. Nobody else is really consistent. So when Smash made arguments that I agreed with, then of course we're going to rock together. When Reggie made arguments I agree with, of course we're going to rock together. When Sheffrin and Corey made arguments, of course we're going to rock together. And when they say things that are flagrant and against the rules, what's the rules? Bring a source, right? Read the source properly and stay with the source. Don't bring me an outdated source. Bring me an up-to-date source. And then we cool. And when y'all start doing that, then I separate myself. And then when I realized that y'all couldn't tell the difference, right? Because it's like y'all looking at the screen like this. Y'all ain't looking at the digging and bringing sources. Y'all ain't listening to the conversation when I never say that's mine. I done had Asylum have their own work. Smash has his own work. They tell you that's my work. I came up with that. I don't have that. I'm not as smart as them. I just use a source. But I understand the whole totality of the conversation. And I got the books to prove it. Let me show you. So we're going to pause that right there for a minute because we're going to get into it, right? We'll get right there. Now, let me just get to it. Let's see what they got to say because there's a lot of ha-ha and kikiing and it's funny. Here you go. Let's see. Here we go. Fair use, but hell, they use the pseudo killer video, so I know it ain't gonna be none of that.
We got a little bit of, we got a little bit of redneck.
He said they got a little bit of redneck in them here. There you have it. See, I don't have that. See, that's the difference there. They have a little bit of redneck in them. Not me. I don't have that. I don't have that in me. I'm not a redneck. Not at all. So I'm cool with that. Y'all redneck? No problem.
In the Midwest. As she Coca-Cola must not be on sale this week, so we're doing Pepsi. Okay. It's Pepsi.
I respect that. I respect that. Record that. And I'm feeling that. I'm feeling
Because I want to do but
just listening to how we all used to get to the information, like you said, it was kind of more honest then. You dig what I'm saying? Early on, it was honest. Everybody was telling their true feelings for the most part. And we didn't know how to really conceal our arguments because of fear of the rebuttal that could come after. You know what I mean? We didn't know how everybody was fighting. We ain't know to look out for the right hand. You dig what I'm saying? We just went in, you know what I mean, naively just going in. But like you said, that was some of the best conversations in show. You dig what I'm saying? Unc wasn't covering up as much as he do now. You dig what I'm saying? Unc used to come out with his head straight up.
All right. So he's starting the Sheffrin thing right there. He's trying to imply that now Unc is covering up. Unc not saying what he really want to say. You gotta get the trick now. He's masterful at this approach to promote delusions. He's masterful. Not covering up now. I just realized who I was talking to. Bunch of dudes who don't take it serious. Play too much. Had to change my demeanor on the situation. Had to change it.
Yeah, that's when you was my nigga. You feel me? I don't know who this I don't know who, but when man, he used to come with his head straight, Arm and Raw squad down, head straight up on the square. We used to beat the shit.
See? How you used to beat me up when I got the same source. So really what he said was, you didn't catch it, was he didn't agree with my source. It's obvious. Because they wasn't saying the Egyptians was African. See, that was the fight in the beginning. See, y'all didn't know that. The fight was that they wasn't African. See, that was the first fight that I had to fight with them. All right? And when I brought out of the Green Sahara, which is in Africa, it killed their spirits. Then they played this Mediterranean. See how they do that? And then they moved it from Mediterranean, but it was a Mediterranean culture. Then I had to move them off of that, and we had to talk about, well, what is really meant when you say Mediterranean. And I said, there should be a rule here. When we teach the people that it has Mediterranean, let's talk about this, that the civilization moved towards the Mediterranean and traded in the Mediterranean. Okay? That's why you can call it a Mediterranean culture. Because it moved, borrowed, and shared back and forth. That's why. Not because but there's not deeply rooted in the Mediterranean, yo. It's not that. It's deeply rooted in Africa. And the reason I say this, reason I was so serious about this, because I read the whole history of Egyptology and its racist approach and how the Mediterranean was a word that they weaponized against us. Oh man, y'all gotta listen to me, man. That's why I used to always fight them. I say, Doug, y'all using the racist words. They'll fight back and try to make the point in this video that, yo, that was back then. No, it's not back then. Because I said science is slow to move. I'm going to bring up-to-date sources where they still saying that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it moving because we're on a drive-by.
And the wild part is we never, when he used to come straight up like that, I would never really give much pushback,
Because it was respectable. You understand? Yeah, I know what you believe. Yeah.
See, they always believed that I was saying the Egyptians was black. And you know I got a video talking about that the West Africans ain't black. And I got a video saying the Nubians ain't black. See? And they know that. But yet they keep saying it. See that? See how they keep playing this game? Boy, I tell you. Oh, what tangle where we weave when we practice you deceive. This is what I don't like. I will never get on here and make up nothing that they saying. Simple as that.
I was believing that until a couple days ago. So we was really flushing it out. So they were good. They were good. So y'all, this is lighthearted here, right? This is all love right here. This is lighthearted, but we're gonna get to it. You feel me?
Man, dude, let me just say, for most of this, I laugh my ass. It's hilarious, bro. Like hearing this today is like the funniest shit in the world.
So the video, and I'm serious on the video, they think it's funny. See the difference? See, it's funny to them. See? But see, this is not funny to me because I take this shit serious, yo. See, whenever you start spending some serious money, yo, you start to take it serious. Being as though they ain't getting behind them paywalls, yo, it probably is funny. See, but it ain't funny to me because I spend money that could go towards my family. I have a very expensive habit in buying books and getting behind paywalls for scientific journals and articles. Oh, y'all don't know that? Yeah, I pay for mine. I have a very extravagant habit of being able to get to the scholars and the scientists. Very extravagant.
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go. Shout out to Marco Slade too. I want
to trade with them, and that make you Mediterranean.
no.
I agree. Hold on.
So we arguing over the Mediterranean thing, and I find out in the middle of the conversation they don't even know what the hell it means. Here you go.
It ain't the fauna, it ain't nothing. So I'm gonna shut up and you show us where the Mediterranean fauna is. You show us where the Mediterranean people is. Do you, boy? I'm listening, my nigga.
What's the fauna? I ain't familiar.
Plants.
The fauna is the animals, and the flora is the plants.
Fauna is the animals.
Fauna, animal, flora, plants.
Flora and fauna, right? Get your shit together. My shit is together. I'm good.
So I don't know what is this.
Do y'all hear echo? Is everything good? Is everything good?
Something that you never argue. So what I was attempting to do here.
Making this case. Look.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's good. But I've kind of like vaguely remember like this kind of discussion, and like around this time, I know I would have been like very distracted. Like, I probably would have been like, trying to get my kids together. My 2-year-old, my 3-year-old now, she probably would have been 1 or less than 1. You know what I'm saying? And so I can hear like in my voice, I can hear that I'm distracted. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not able to really focus on what's going on. So a lot of that used to happen back then. So
I'm in conversations with people that's totally distracted. When I get into my bubble, when I get my office, when I get into my office, yo. When I say my office, I'm saying when I get into my bag, yo, I'm in my bag, yo, I'm focused on what I'm talking about, yo. Because I know the product is going out to y'all. I already know you can't do 2 things at one time. You can only focus on one thing.
So I just, I'm not trying to make an excuse for nothing. I said, I was definitely, when I was listening, I was definitely stubborn. She probably would have been 1 or less than 1. You know what I'm saying? And so,
racist. Because they be trying to say they racist.
Explain.
Okay, so then what? Think about this, boy. Mm-hmm. The term black can be racist. It's based off of the user and the way you
I don't want to talk. I never talked about black. Why y'all?
No. Oh, relax. No.
See, yeah, nigga, the whole conversation was what you mean you don't want to be put into the black conversation. You in the damn conversation. You think I'm saying they black, so it's in that. It's simple.
I don't want to be brought into that.
No. Listen. Go ahead. Pay close attention. Any word, if used.
Now, y'all hear Corey saying, don't pull me into the black conversation.
So how many of y'all believe that Corey wasn't into the black Egyptian conversation, y'all? You can't even be in a conversation and we talking about the people and not recognize that that's part of the daggone dispute and argument. See, this is the game they play. Come on, man. Flim-flammery at levels already. He's already in the video flim-flamming.
Y'all hear that? Let's continue. See, this is where we was at first.
Derogatively can be racist. So you can misuse the term Mediterranean in a racist way. When you try to usurp another people's culture by applying, right, Mediterranean on it, that term becomes racist. Because it's definitely changing, trying to, at least verbally and scholastically, change a culture that is indigenous to certain lands. That's the racist, the way they use it was racist. Because they were trying to say that the niggas in Africa couldn't have did that. So it had to be an invading race from the Mediterranean. Come on, man, go.
Now, hold on. Now, think about that, y'all. Now, how could, if a person wasn't saying that Egyptians was black, how could they ever make that stance? How could they ever make that stance?
Now I want to play this again for y'all, okay? I want y'all to hear that. So he's making a point because see, this is the type of stuff they hang on to because I called them niggas. See, they hang on to that. Since when was the word nigga ever a scientific term or ever a damn stance? But that's okay because the word nigga comes from the word Negro. So we're gonna show. Now I want to go back and play the clip again, and I'm talking about the time period when they was using the Mediterranean race, right? All right. Now I know most of y'all ain't up on game, but I'm gonna put y'all on some game tonight, right? He's trying to say because I called them niggas, right? Listen to my explanation real close.
They racist way. When you try to usurp another people's culture by applying, right, Mediterranean on it, that term becomes racist because it's definitely changing, trying to at least verbally and scholastically change a culture that is indigenous to certain lands. That's the racist. The way they use it was racist because they was trying to say that the niggas in Africa couldn't have did that. So it had to be an invading race from the Mediterranean. Come on, man. Go
Now, hold on. Now, think about that, y'all. Now, how could, if a person wasn't saying that Egyptians was black, how could they ever make that stance? How could they ever make that stance?
So that's the question. If a person didn't think the Egyptians was black, first of all, I didn't make a stance. I was simply talking about Europeans and how Europeans felt like that anybody on the continent of Africa, indigenous, they called them the Negroes, see what I'm saying, could not create a civilization like Egypt. Now, I don't understand why he don't understand that. I think it's called gaslighting, or I think it's called he trying to con y'all or something. Can I verify what I'm saying? Make me verify that. Make me verify that they call people in Egypt Negroes. Can I verify that they called them the Mediterranean race? Can I verify that? Later on in the video, Chef said, yeah, well, you think they kind of did say they was in something, but he still don't understand it. So if he did understand it in his response watching this damn video, then he wouldn't have said what he just said. So he's saying because I said that they said that the Negroes couldn't build or niggas couldn't build a civilization like that. All of a sudden, I'm saying that they black people. Like, what's the game here? It's a lot of dishonesty going on. I want to keep playing. Then I'm gonna go right back and show and prove that yes, they did call them Mediterranean race, and yes, they did call them Negroes.
The niggas. He was saying if they think about that, right? If it was a racist term, right? And if they were saying, if they was trying to say that the niggas couldn't do it, who are you saying the ancient Egyptians was? Goddamn battery going low in my camera. Go.
Yeah, the ancestors got them for cheating.
Hey, Corey, explain that one to me.
And it's wild because I asked him because he said something to trigger me. It was fun, and I remember me laughing at the time. He said something to trigger me to say, who you talking about? But then without him even hearing me, I don't even think he heard me ask him that. He then continued on to say, yeah, because it wouldn't have been. They was trying to say it couldn't have been the niggas. You know what I'm saying? So, at that point, see, we wasn't even at this point in the game, we wasn't like here where we at here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So all it is a fresh argument. Now mind you, I think we're having the argument, you know, we're maybe a couple weeks into the argument. Mm-hmm. We're not months into the argument yet. You know what I'm saying? So
no, that's not true. We was deep into the damn argument. All right, that I got to argue with them that the Egyptians ain't Mediterranean. And the reason I kept saying it because we're in the middle of a battle with a guy named Chief X who keeps saying they African later on. Then he starts saying when I hit him with everybody with the source to prove they was African, then all of a sudden they turn African, but the explanation of it would be people outside of Africa. Man, hit that Cash App, man. Show some love, man. Show some love, man. Because we cooking. Hold on.
We're like weeks into the argument at this point. So it's like, you know, touch and go. And, you know, nobody's moving. You know, Ankh is solid in his stance. You know, we know where he at. He knows where he at.
No, where am I at? I'm saying that the Egyptians is not Mediterranean. And that the term Mediterranean was misappropriated against the culture and the civilization that they're indigenous Africans. That's my stance, because that's what my source say. I ain't changed it. Just because I use the word Negro and nigga don't mean I changed my damn stance.
He knows what we're arguing, and, you know, we know what he...
You can name, Ankh then moved away from everybody to have you, and we made him make all of those moves.
See? Arrogancy. Ain't nobody made me move away from nobody. See? Everybody think they made me do something. A nigga ain't made me do nothing ever. Since I was a little boy, I've been a hard-head dude. They made me move away for what? My study habits send me away from people. The way I digest the information at 4:30 in the morning, the way I read and study, causes me to say I got to get away from these people because they do not understand what I'm saying. People still ain't understood what the hell Ngozi been saying. They can't even fathom what the man is saying when he say. Everybody swear he on their side when he's simply grabbing the data. We data driven around here. Hey, oh yeah, Ngozi on my side. Ngozi on my side. Go to my man. Ngozi been saying the same thing, bro. He ain't changed his stance. 14 years ago, I got the videos. When we start digesting Samantha Kiata. Come on, man. Here we go.
Because of the argument. You dig what I'm saying? You want to continue or you want to add on? For people, because that's what they champion for certain things, right?
You know, a fresh argument. Now, mind you, I think we're having the argument, you know, we're maybe a couple weeks into the argument. Mm-hmm. We're not months into the argument yet. You know what I'm saying? So we're like weeks into the argument at this point. So it's like, you know, touch and go, and, you know, nobody's moving. You know, Ankh is solid in his stance. You know, we know where he at. He knows where he at. He knows what we're arguing, and, you know, we know what he arguing at this point in time. At least this is kind of the mind frame that I'm in, right, in this particular video right here. So yeah, it's just interesting to hear it. It's funny. It's hilarious.
Now to me, right there, it is clear what I'm arguing with this nigga. For me, this shit is clear. Always know, dude, what the fuck I was arguing with this nigga, and that's why he used to go get smashed and Reggie, you know, because they was all saying the same thing. Now, they never all said exactly the same words because they got their own little focus, you know, their own little unique study habits where they focus in on certain things, right? But everything that they study separately comes together to form one point. You dig what I'm saying? So Ankh might go about it scientifically, anthropologically.
So how I'm gonna go with it scientifically and anthropologically and come up with the same thing that everybody else is coming up with? I wouldn't, would I? I would never come up with the fact that it was a race called the Egyptians that was black. Now, would I? I would never come up with it. There was a homogenous race, understanding that is the intersection of 3 damn continents. I say it all the time, the area of confluence with different populations confluent together. So how could I actually be saying that? No, they was actually playing y'all for the views, and they doing it again. Couldn't have been using anthropology. Couldn't have been using science and come up with the answer that the Egyptians is black and come up with the same answer as Reggie and all them. Reggie and them got their own work. Remember that? Their own work. It's their work. Asarhotep has his own work. I'm the only one I don't have my own work. I read the sources. I bring y'all sources. And I keep using the same source. Somebody gonna figure this out.
You dig what I'm saying? All right. But and Reggie might come from the historical and Smash might come from the linguistic, but it all is to reach the same fucking conclusion. You feel me? They all are a team working together.
Yeah, so what conclusion was we trying to reach together? The gaslighters will say, well, Unc was saying what they were saying. But I ain't friends with none of them. Why not? Because we butted heads when they continue to push their work, which is not the standard that I personally strive for. For you can have your work, you need to have some type of degree and something that you're talking about for you to produce your work. I'm listening to those with doctorate degrees. I'm reading archaeological surveys. I pay good money for it. If you don't have an archaeological survey, I'm not actually listening to you. I'm actually having a conversation so that people can learn. So I'm bringing anthropology and science. Reggie bringing some history and Smash bringing some linguistics. And we all came to the same conclusion that the Egyptians was black, huh? Now, he didn't say that, but that's what the hell he's meaning right now. And he knows what I'm talking about because he reads my mind with the Jedi mind trick. Craziest thing ever, yo. This is what I put myself in. Not no more.
To prove that black Africans were the progenitors of the Egyptian civilization.
So I'm trying to prove that black Africans are the progenitors of Egyptian civilization, huh? So, I mean, I didn't really read the Cairo Symposium. I really didn't understand what the hell I was reading. I really didn't read the Egyptian race controversy. I really didn't know what the hell I was reading, huh? Yeah, man. Crazy, man. Really didn't know, huh? Then you got a bunch of chat nuts over here. I ain't talking about our chat. I'm talking about this video chat. Crazy. Not talking about this chat. I'm talking about the chat, the video I'm playing. Was it Wetwork say Unc gonna say he didn't mean it like that? I didn't know the word Negro was scientific. I didn't know the word nigga was a scientific stance until today.
And in fact, while we know it, that's why Diop and Dr. Ben and them was their favorite people. Because that's what they champion.
But Dr. Ben and Diop is still my favorite people. And John Jackson. They still my favorite. Diop is my favorite person because he actually went to a damn scientific conference and had a hell of a conversation, and he made it into the damn Hall of Fame, which is the damn museum, for some of his ideas. I say this for some of his ideas. There's a weird thing going on in this community, and it's happening on both sides. It's happening on the, I'm gonna call them the Chief X side, because they champion Chief X, right? So I got the name movement, the Chief X movement. Good job, Chief X. You finally got a movement behind you, bro. So the Chief X movement doesn't understand that Diops and Theophile Banger and Walt D. Rodney and who else you got? You got John Jackson and them. They don't have to get everything right. We would continue to push the things that they got right, and the things that they got wrong, we just throw it in the trash can and keep it moving like all educated people do. The scientific ideas that don't go through is thrown in the trash can. The scholarship ideas is outdated, is thrown in the trash can. You don't throw the whole person away. If they brought something that makes some sense, then you take what they made sense and you throw that stuff away. But in this community, you got it all right or all wrong. And ladies and gentlemen, that's not how science works. So Diops did get things wrong, got a lot of things wrong. So I don't have to lie and act like he got something right that he didn't get right. I can just throw that away after it goes through the strain of science. Like we know there's no melanin dose test that can tell a race because it ain't no such thing as a race. So we put that in the trash can. We know there was no homogenous Negro population in Egypt. Because first of all, there is no race called the Negro race. And second of all, it's intersecting 3 continents. And so it never would have been homogenous. So we throw that away. But when he talk about it in this African context, he was absolutely right. He actually inspired next generations to fight that fight. And they actually agreed with him at the Cairo Symposium because they say they're not black or white. They are indigenous Africans. So they agree with that part. But in this community, you either got to be all right or all wrong. So to Corey and Chef, that's in the Chief X movement, they think because you got that wrong, that you pseudo. No, the people that keep promoting the wrong ideas of Diops are pseudo. The people that keep promoting the wrong ideas of Dr. Ben are pseudo, not them dudes. You can't even put Dr. Ben's name in there and they call him pseudo. Boy, I tell you, how is Diops in the museum? He ain't in the museum for the black hypothesis. We know he not, because you could look. He's definitely not in the museum for the black hypothesis. We already know that. How do we know? Because we do this. We look at the word Negroid. We come here. We see before Darwin what they was talking about. We come to Diops. It's right here, yo. I'm giving y'all the tools. Easy work here. And you read it, Afrocentrist and author Shikant Diops. Actually, the ideas that Diops expounded on actually was the platform that the Afrocentric community used. He wasn't actually an Afrocentrist. Contrasted Negroid with Cro-Magnon in his publication, arguing that the Negroid primacy. Grimaldi man, Upper Paleolithic fossil found in Italy in 1901, had been classified as Negroid by Boyd and Wallace in 1921. The identification was obsolete by the 1960s, but was controversially revived by Diops in his work, The African Origin of Civilization, in 1974. 1974, so strike a chord with you because this is at the Cairo Symposium. So we know his ideas on Negroid, right, and Negro was outdated. So he didn't get that through. That's how we know. All right. So let us move on. I even believe you got the next. Let's see. Yeah, look. Boom. Negro pop. We can see what it is and who said it, right? It's all right here, right? So we don't even got to fight this. So they trying to say I'm trying to promote something after I'd have read this article 1,000 times, yo. Nah, yo, they cheating, yo. They not playing fair, yo. All right, look, and last time I checked, I read the goddamn Cairo Symposium when other people couldn't read words like should have or could have. Remember that? I know you remember. They say the Black Egyptian hypothesis is a hypothesis that the ancient Egyptians was a black homogeneous civilization. They said, look, I got the books. They make them pull up the books. I got the books. They can't even put up the books. It say at UNESCO symposium in 1974, there was a consensus that the ancient Egyptians was, look, y'all, indigenous Africans. There you go. I ain't got to read no more. But it said, however, Diop's hypothesis that the ancient Egyptians was black civilization was met with numerous objections in 1974 and revealed a disagreement which remained profound, even though it was not voiced explicitly. And then you can keep reading on, and it gets here. There's also, it says there was also a total disagreement from the majority of scholars. Look, in 1974, on the hypothesis that the ancient Egyptian had been homogeneous population until the Persian times. Y'all hear Diop say that, with several scholars favoring the hypothesis of mixed population. And they said the majority of the objections which raised were of methodological nature. So they were saying, although Diopson brought a lot of stuff, right? The disagreement was in their methodology. Remember, scientists will attack your methodology, y'all. What is the method used to reach these conclusions that their first Negro, which we already know we follow in Charles Darwin evolution, because UNESCO are the ones that put out the statements, the first 4 statements on race on planet Earth. Y'all didn't know that? So of course they're not going to sponsor a symposium that's promoting race. That wouldn't make sense, would it? Just like it don't make sense for me to consistently teach and say that the Egyptians was black or Negro. I wouldn't say that, would I? Why they play the game like this? Crazy. Anyway, they talk about his reliability of statistical data and further research projects in several fields, such as archaeology and physical anthropology, before conclusions on the peopling of Egypt could be made. Right. So they say, yo, we need more data. All that you say, we hear you, appreciate that. Good work. But you're not going to get us on that like that. Okay. And they say, well, Diop's ideas was definitely politically motivated. It talks about that. Talks about how they didn't really step to him as hard as they should have, right? Because it was kind of like a political, and it was kind of because they actually wanted to give, which was important. UNESCO, the conference had 1/3 of them was Africans, whether they be African Americans or continental Africans, because they wanted the Africans to get a chance to tell their own daggone history. Simple as that. So let's get back to the video, because now we're starting to get good. And we ain't hating, yo. We just participate. Here we go.
I knew that y'all didn't agree with Dr. Ben and the black man of the night. I never knew that y'all didn't agree with that shit, right? Until we got a year into the conversation, you think what I'm saying? And we kept making you have to back that shit up, right? You kept getting those penalties. Because when you was fucking with us, you was getting those flags was getting thrown. And every time that flag would get thrown, every time you would violate, you would have to go 10-yard penalty. You got to move back 10 yards. So now we got you all the way back. And now you ain't saying nothing that smashing I'm saying no more. You ain't saying nothing that Reggie saying no more. We done pushed him into a unique enclave where his argument is completely different from everybody else's. His argument is different from Sheikh Andrew Diop's. His argument is different from Chancellor Williams. His argument is different from Dr. Benz. His argument is different from Smash Rockwell's, from Sean Indy Harret. You think anybody you can name, then moved away from everybody to have you, and we made him make all of those moves.
Yeah, but I'm gonna wait for y'all too, though. So I ain't, I ain't do no picking and choosing. Got away from all y'all. Yeah, because I'm in my space. I'm in my zone now. Well, I can't have people who ain't on the same ride with me, ain't on the same level with the conversation, that don't know what the Mediterranean. Don't forget, we put we put a pin in it. We're gonna see did they call Egyptians Negroes or not. We're gonna see if they said the Africans was foolish. They wasn't smart enough to build the Negroes couldn't even build the civilization. We're gonna see if that statement was made. Remember, I made a statement in there, right? We're gonna see if they thought that the Negro wasn't intelligent enough to be an African dude. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if the Mediterranean was misused and misappropriated. We're gonna see. I just want to get a little bit of this out right here. So no, I've never agreed with everything that Dr. Ben wrote. I've never agreed with everything that Chancellor Williams wrote. And I read the book till the shit start falling apart, yo. All highlighted, my favorite book. I like to read this book at least once a year. So I know the parts he got right and the parts he got wrong. Same with the, you ain't never seen them niggas hold up a damn Dr. Ben book or a John Jackson book. I'm a Dr. Ben fan because he's an atheist. And everybody act like he wasn't. So I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan of him because he talks about Charles Darwin. Look at the video I did the other day. ChatGPT talks about how he taught about Charles Darwin and how he was trying to explain how they was messing up the things in the museum, putting white people in the middle of Africa. He talk about all that. Go check out the show. Support that. So I read these books showing there. Hell no, I don't agree with everything. And that's crazy to think that. We're in 2024. What are we talking about, man? Yeah, they just trying to get some views, but I'm gonna give them what they want. Because they horrible gamers. They can't even get no views. So they gotta, they gotta go back and mention me. So I'm gonna give them what they want. They go for all of them. I'm up for it. All day, every day. And like they say, yeah, we having fun. Yeah, here we go.
Because of the argument. You dig what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna let you think, yo, did I stop fucking with everybody because of y'all two knuckleheads? I'm good. You can have that. Tripping. My sources say I can't mess with y'all.
You want to continue or you want to add?
Because it's confusing to the people. It seems people can't separate that. I know I can. I know Sheffrin will say they're African and be quiet, but yet he support Chief X. So I'm thinking he's agreeing with Chief X. I know Corey calls him Mediterranean and all that and fight for that. So yeah, I'm saying he's in that. He's a Chief X. Both of them is in the Chief X movement. And for the first time in the history of the conscious community, Chief X has effectively pulled in a group of racist North Africans. That's his claim to fame. I give it to you, bro. You did it. I ain't never seen a person do that like that. The whole time promoting the invading race theory. The whole time not even knowing the man that came up with it. Y'all flagrant. But I bet you they won't talk about Chief X though, because they in his movement. See, that's how they try to hide their hand, y'all.
Go ahead and continue. I'm ready to laugh too much. It's funny.
I don't know. You done got fucked. Fuck. Now, how many times I've been wrong?
Actually, scientific is a scientific term. That's why I brought that up. I wasn't bringing that up to say, oh, you can go through Egypt and find all of these different flowers. What I was saying is, you're saying the term Mediterranean is a racist term, and I'm saying it's a scientific term. That's what I was explaining.
Okay, so then think about this for me.
Mm-hmm.
The term black can be racist. It's based off of the user and the way you
I don't
use
want
it.
to talk. I never talked about black. Why y'all?
No. Oh, relax. No.
I don't want to be brought into that.
No. Listen.
Go ahead.
Pay close attention. Any word, if used derogatively, can be racist. So you can misuse the term Mediterranean in a racist way. When you try to usurp another people's culture by applying, right, Mediterranean on it, that term becomes racist. Because it's definitely changing, trying to, at least verbally and scholastically, change a culture that is indigenous to certain lands. That's a racist. The way they use it was racist because they was trying to say that the niggas in Africa couldn't have did that. So it had to be an invading race from the Mediterranean. Come on, man.
Invading race? No, I'm not. Nobody's. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know.
Really? So you don't get how they get the Mediterranean and Asia. Okay, you know what? I'm not.
What I'm gonna say.
No, you see that? Hey, I'm wrong with that, yo. I made that up.
That didn't sound right to me.
Wait, yo.
I can't in good faith agree with that.
Said that it was Asia, the Mediterranean that formed Egyptian culture. You don't get that. You just
nobody ever said that. No. And then furthermore, you talk about how they traded with the Nubians first. I'm like, I never argue about trading with who first. Like that's never been my argument. What I'm saying.
I don't want to talk to you. I'm gonna talk to Q.
Let me say this again.
You tapped out.
When we talking about, and then I don't even get the whole point where y'all keep saying, well, when you talk about Egyptians, you can't talk about genetics. It's like, why are they so special? What's so special about the Egyptians that when you talk about them, you can't talk about genetics? You know what I mean? It just don't even make sense to me.
Yeah, well, you know what?
I can't hardly make it make sense to me. I'm talking about.
I'm gonna wait to turn your brain on.
And when you're talking about, see, the thing is, y'all saying culture, right? But y'all, why is y'all keep trying to make the Nubian culture the Egyptian culture? Like, why can't the Nubians have their own shit? They ain't allowed to have their own culture. They ain't allowed. Them niggas ain't allowed to have their own culture.
Yeah,
they gotta be the same as the Egyptians.
Not united.
It don't make sense to me.
Yeah, you roll down the track. I'm letting you know you done went three.
I'm just laying out your whole argument. I'm laying out everything you said yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
It's not fair.
Addressing it one by one.
No, because you don't understand how white people. W-A-I-T-E. White people. Hold on. White people say that. Hold on.
I don't know none of it.
No, white people.
That don't make sense to me when you start talking about
that. Listen, I'm going to say this real quick for you. Racist white people in the 1800s started this field of Egyptology called the Egyptians a Mediterranean race. That's the bullshit, bro. And they said it was the outside force that invaded there.
I don't think they did. I don't think they called them Mediterranean race.
So I'm arguing with people that don't even know they call the Mediterranean race. Like it's no way possible. So let me stop right here. Let me get into these sources, man, because this is why y'all come in, man. Y'all come here to see me drive by and shoot them up and keep it moving, man. Okay. I only want to start with ChatGPT first. Okay, because that's essential here. It's important. All right. I want to do what they can never do. Okay. All right. First of all, here's the book. Right. I not only have the Kindle copy, I got the hard copy. Y'all see it. Ethnic Identities in the Land of the Pharaohs. Remember, I'm arguing with people that don't even know what make you a damn Egyptian. They think a haplogroup makes you a molecule makes you an Egyptian. No, haplogroups and molecules make you human, not Egyptian. They think skin color make you Egyptians. I'm surrounded by all these people. No, that's not what makes you an Egyptian. Highlighted. See? The page, the map. You see that, right? So y'all can see this, man. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Let's read it. Let's get them out the way. Okay, first of all, this map is what? The Atlantic Ocean, the Arctic Ocean. That was actually a damn map, y'all. Let's read the map. At the top, it says the Great Northern Flatlands. 1, the Nordic type of the Great White Race. I'm going to say it again. The northern type of the Great White Race. Y'all see the number 1 there, right? Remember Chef and them and Coyne was talking about, hey, no, they didn't use that. Yeah. So that means you mean I'm talking to people who ain't studied in the history of Egyptology? 2, the white race. So you got the great white race too. It's called the highland zone. Okay. It says two, the alpine type of the great white race. So they got the great white race, they got the Nordic type, they got the alpine type, right? And then they got three. What do y'all think three is? The Mediterranean type. Y'all see it right there, the Mediterranean type. All right, look at that. The great white race. So all these different variations of the great white race. Crazy. And at the bottom of that map, that's the black race. On the right hand side, that's the Mongoloid or yellow race. They really thought this, y'all. Now who made this map? Figure 4, distribution of the different races in Europe and North Africa. According to who? Breasted. So if you're having a conversation with me about Nile Valley population and about Egyptology and don't know who the hell Breasted is, then why are you talking to me? Why am I even allow you? Why? I'm thinking these dudes is up. They wasn't. So yes, they effectively called them the what? The Mediterranean race. It says the type of a white race, the Mediterranean type of the white race. So you got the Mediterranean type of the white race, you got the Alpine type of the white race, and you got the Nordic type of the white race. They just made everybody white. And you got the Mongoloid or the yellow race, and you got the black race. So you mean to tell me I'm sitting there arguing with these dudes, they don't know that? Well, let's see. It's something else I want to prove in this same book that none of them even heard of, right? We want to talk about Junker. You know who Junker is? Born in 1877, 1962. He was a strong advocate of the idea that Africa was inhabited by Hamites. Y'all heard about that, right? The white race, right? It say and Negro. So Africa is inhabited by the Hamites and Negroes. There's that word. Did he claim they wasn't using? Substratum. Junker disagreed with Reisner. Y'all knew, they don't even know who Reisner is, the one that did the archaeological work surveys in Nubia. And he named them the Nubians. That ain't even a damn name. But anyway, it say on the origin of the Khmer culture in Nubia. It say he argued that the bearers of the native Nubians, a highly developed African culture of the second millennium, according to Junker, Khmer was the only African high culture from pre-Christian period, which does not consequently lean on Egypt. It says, like the Meretic culture, it says the reasons being that Junker considered that all cultures of the Nile Valley were produced by light-skinned Hamites. Remember the word light-skinned. It's important. And not dark-skinned Negroes. You say, where Reisner did not see Khmer as an indigenous Nubian culture, right? Because he interpreted the Nubians as being racially different to the Egyptians. See this again. Reisner, where Reisner did not see Khmer as an indigenous Nubian culture because this guy interpreted, the Nubians as being a racially different to the Egyptians. Are the Nubians racially different to the Egyptians, y'all? I'm gonna ask y'all again. Are the Nubians racially different to the Egyptians? Put a 1 in there if it's yeah, and put a 2 in the chat if it's a no. Let me see where you study at. Says again, are the Egyptians racially different than the Nubians? 1 if yes, 2 if no. Let me see what the chat looking like. Let me see where y'all at. Let me see if y'all been following with your notepads like you're supposed to be. Let me see. Let me see. Look at Cedric say nope. Scarf Crown say nope. Gary say nope. There you go. What? See the Book of Gates, right? Look, figure 1. Yeah, see what I'm saying, yo? Right. Yeah. Come on, man. You're out the game, bro. Look, see? I knew we would get one. There's a reason why that's not making any sense. Because there is no race. So you can't just go in there and say, that's a different race. Right. That's not a race. No, so the Egyptians have never been a separate race from the Nubians. See? Because all humans are 99% the same. There you go. See, we cooking with hot grease. There you go. There you go. We on par. All right, now when I'm reading that? Oh, shoot. Damn it. How did I jump like that? It's crazy, man. Why did it do that? What was I at? God damn it. Shoot. Why did it even do that? Let me see. Hold on, let me get this straight. Man. Wait a minute. I'm right here. What was I reading at? The nigga. Oh, okay, I guess let me go. Okay, Junker Greedy Ra, I was a strong advocate, was the advocate of the idea and having it. Okay, I'm right here. All righty. So it's where Rosin did not see Kerma as indigenous Nubian culture because he interpreted the Nubians as being racially different, crazy, than Junker. Okay, Junker interpreted Kerma as a, watch this, indigenous culture because he considered it to be Hamite, which for him meant, watch this, being white. It's following the idea of previous scholars, okay, such as Breasted, Junker, and Emery also agreed that the people of Kush were not Negroes. See that? So they were saying, yo, Breasted and Junker and Emery argued that the people of Kush are not Negroes. Didn't Chef just say, well, that wasn't a consensus? That's bullshit. This nigga's the father of Egyptology. That was the damn consensus. What are we talking about? We're not Negroes. Watch this. As we understand the term applied to this racial group today. Watch this. Instead, he claimed that the Egyptians used the term Negro. Now, wait for it, y'all. God damn it. That the Egyptians used the term Negro, look, to designate all the dark-skinned peoples of the South, whereas their race, okay, let me read it again. The Egyptians used the term Negro to designate all the dark-skinned peoples of the South, whereas their race. Watch this. In this, he refers to the Egyptian term Nahisi. So back then they thought the Egyptian term Nahisi was Negro. Now watch this. A generic term for Southerners. Watch this, y'all. Wait for it. Including both Egyptians and Nubians in Upper Egypt and Nubians south of the First Cataract. So they were saying all of them were Negroes in Upper Egypt and in Nubia. They was Negroes. So when I was talking about them naming like Breasted, right? Breasted used the term Mediterranean race. Okay. The other Egyptologists working in Egypt during that time, like Junker and them, right? And Reisner, they used the term Negro and they called the Egyptians Negroes. Okay. But they wasn't the indigenous ones, but they was Negroes. Everybody in the South with dark skin, they called them Negroes. I'm going to read this again. It's in this, he refers to the Egyptian term Nahisi, a genetic term for Southerners, including both Egyptians and Nubians. Southerners, Negroes, in Upper Nubia in the south of the First Cataract. So when I'm talking about the niggas or the Negroes and the Mediterranean races, I'm simply talking about what the scholars talked back then. And they simply said that, first of all, these niggas can't make civilizations like this, or these Negroes can't make civilizations like this. And that's why they argued for, quote unquote, Lord Upper Egypt, you know what I'm saying, as being the source, you know what I'm saying, of all the culture. See, now we're starting to get somewhere, ain't we? Now we're starting to get somewhere. Contrary to the idea of these early scholars, anthropological research in the last few decades has demonstrated the similarity in morphological features between early 3rd millennium Egyptians from Abydos and the population of Kerma in Upper Nubia. Studies of mitochondrial DNA suggest that the modern Egyptians and Nubians are much more similar to one another than either is to populations of southern Sudan. So see, there's a gradient. As you go deeper down to Sudan, that gradient starts to change away from the Egyptian and Nubian population. As you go closer to the north, that gradation starts to move towards the Mediterranean. I understand this because I understand Charles Darwin evolution. It's not hard for me. And I've been understood this. Man. So I can finish reading this. It says whether or not the ancient or modern Egyptians can be considered black depends on a modern definition of blackness. For a modern Egyptian frame of reference, far fewer ancient Egyptians would be categorized as black. Anyway, there you go. But see right here, it says scientific racism in ancient Egyptian depiction of foreigners. So that proves my point. So we move right along. Right there where we're supposed to be. What? It say who was black in ancient Africa? Nobody was black in ancient Africa, bro. They didn't get black until colonialism came in and put that wild name on them, yo. So that's what you're doing, JJ 7000. I'm gonna laugh at you. I'm gonna let you have that, bro. I ain't gonna kick you out, yo. I'm gonna let you have that, JJ 7000. Yeah. Because you the last person to say what a person can do and can't do. Don't let me start with the jokes, JJ. So I'm gonna give you a break. I ain't gonna joke on you. You down, you 2 strikes though. But come down hard on you. So we hear the video, we hear the laughs and jokes, but now I just sourced it up. So yes, they did use the Mediterranean race, and it was by Bresson, and he had a map for it. And later on that video, Chef tells Corey, I'm talking about in the reaction when you know like the live video, he said, yeah, they might have used it like that, and he ain't even sure. See, but they laugh and they joke all the time. Now, I do got a clip. Hold on, let me see if I can get this. Ah, man, see if I can get this clip. 1 second, y'all. That. See if I can get this clip here. See if I can get the clip. Let me see. Because it's all laughing jokes. Let's see. Reacting to it. No, I don't want that. I got a lot of clips here. I want that. D.I. thinks it was crazy. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Equated things that have been falsified and proven false in some instances to argue points. Is it just because they black, or like why are we doing that?
Yeah, like the UNESCO, for example. Like why keep going back to that when we got better information than the 1974 UNESCO? Don't they do that more often? Is that the only one ever? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like as far as that, like it's a lot more information out there about the subject matter rather than
that gives us a clear picture.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And that goes for both sides. Like it seems like even on like Reggie and Jabari will pull that up. You will pull that up. Smash will pull that up. Like it's so ambiguous. Like at this point, it's not anybody can use that any kind of way they want it.
And so they're talking about UNESCO, and I just gave you a whole explanation of why it's still properly used UNESCO, because they was definitely ahead of their time, okay? And they was way ahead of their damn time, okay? And so I want to pull this. I want to show you this. Let me see. Hold on. What part I want to come right here with UNESCO? Oh, man. And I talked about how science moves slow and how now they just getting there when you go to the Brooklyn museums and all that. They now saying it, right? But even at UNESCO, they talked about the Sahara. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Damn it. At UNESCO. Let's see here. I don't want the black hypothesis. I want the, let's see. Position in modern scholarship, scholarly views about historical modern interpretation of race controversy. Let me see. Oh man, hypothesis. Hold on 1 second. The African origin argued the prevailing Egyptology is driven by scholarship colonial study. Yeah. The African origin civilization argued. All right, that's in Diop's work. He was right. I don't see that. I want to get to the point where they actually talked about. Let me go up here. Just want to get this right for y'all. Want to be able to talk when they talk about the Sahara, how to pop. There were people that was just starting to talk about. They came out of the Sahara. Pale color. Let me see existing. Oh, here you go. At 19, here you go. Yeah, here you go. We got it. At the 1974 conference, several participants, other than Diop and Obanga, that means Diop and Obanga weren't agreeing with this, concluded that the Neolithic Egyptian population was indigenous to the Sahara and was made up of people from north to south of the Sahara who had a range of skin colors. The majority of the participants in the conference disagreed. I'm going to say this again. The majority of the participants in the conference disagreed with Diop's and Obanga's views. Similar, none of the participants voiced support for the earlier postulation that the Egyptians were white with dark and even black pigmentation. There you go, man. Okay, so they disagreed with that. They disagreed with the Diops and them on it being an homogenous Negro civilization, y'all. All right? Right. And I've had this source from day one, which is totally different than when Chief X is saying it, because we've seen the video. Go back and check that video out. Check out the drive-by when I clearly showed Chief X talking about they from Iran and Iraq. Crazy. So there we go. We right there where we need to be. That's perfect. It's perfect. 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 Right? Okay, so now we go back. So now we know why we still use UNESCO, because they just get into it for real. Because the field is starting to shift to that, and they heavy focus on that now. And that's why the things are starting to pop up in the museums, man. Simple as that. So no, UNESCO is not outdated. Could have been, but it's not. So there you go. That's why we keep using it, because it's the basis of where the field is now. So I'm really arguing with people that don't understand that, huh? Not no more. No, I won't. Not going to do it. Not going to be able to do it. Okay, so let's get here. So we dealt with the Kindle. I wanted to get a little slick with the Kindle, though. I'm going to get a little slick here. Let's get a little slick here. So we got ethnic identities in the land of Pharaoh. Right? We got, look, these are all Egyptian works. We got ceramic perspectives on ancient Egyptian society elements. That's why I know about the wares. Right? We got this. We got the Egyptian and the desert, the elements in ancient Egypt. We got the seeing. It says seeing perfection in ancient Egyptian images beyond representation. We got the coffin, commerce, and how funerary material formed in ancient Egypt. We got the archaeology in Egyptian non-royal burial customs in the New Kingdom, Egypt, and its empires. We got the power and regions in ancient states, ancient Egypt and Mesopotamian perspective. See, y'all should read that book. You got the Nile mobility and management. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got all the elements, ladies and gentlemen. They have none. They have none. I got an anthropology book, an anthropology on religion and magic and witchcraft. They ain't got no anthropology books. Paleontology work. All right, paleontology of the ancient Egyptians. Yeah. Mm. Boy, I tell you. Anyway, Near East. So I'm about to move to this work right here. All right. Ancient Near East. Eastern History and Culture by William H. I can't even say it. Let me get you the book itself. Okay, here we go. All right. Now we're here. Y'all see that not the flyer, right? All right. I want to show you the cover of the book. All right. It's important while I'm showing you the cover of the book. Y'all seen this? All right. Stybring Jr. and Suzanne in Health. William H. Here you go. 4th edition. Ancient Near Eastern History and Culture. Okay. Beautiful cover, y'all. Okay. Let's go to table contents. What we trying to do here? All right. We doing something they never can do. Okay. I want to come into early cultures of the Nile. Here you go. Early cultures of the Nile. From 13,000 to 3,500 BCE, page 32. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we here. Here you go. Early cultures of the Nile. All right. It say while the Near Eastern transition to the full farming economy around 8,000 BCE, Egypt remained essentially hunter-gatherer society for another few millennia. Like the Levant, Egypt began its transition to the Neolithic way of life, beginning at 13,000 BCE. At this time, Egypt was experiencing a humid phase, which encouraged more hunting and foraging in formerly desert regions. Watch this. One early group to settle in Egypt is defined as the Kadan culture, 13,000, 10,000 BCE. Situated, let's see what it's situated at. This is important for the conversation. Situated between the Second Cataract and Southern Egypt. Do y'all know what Southern Egypt is? Right? It's called Upper Egypt. Okay? The upper portions is really the lower portion because of the orientation of the river. So once again, this early culture on the Nile at 13,000, 10,000 BC is situated between the Second Cataract. They don't even know that. Southern Egypt. It say the Kadanians were hunters, but also cared for strands of wild grasses and grains. I always talk about the microliths and the grinding stones. It say which they harvested with sickles. That's the stones I talk about. With sickles and ground and ground into flour, like the Natufians. It say although they did not build permanent settlements, they buried their dead in cemeteries. It must have been an unstable period because many of the excavated bodies, including those of women and children, had stone points embedded in their bones. Clear evidence of violence and conflicts. Well, since most of y'all haven't even heard of that, let's get to it. Let's see exactly what it's at. Okay. Why would I put that all the way down there like that? One sec. Man, I put it all the way over there. It doesn't make no sense. Hold on. Let me get to the Kadans, the Kadanians. I don't know why I put all okay. The Kadan culture. The Kadan culture, 13,000 to 900 BCE, was an ancient culture that archaeological evidence suggests originated in Nubia approximately 15,000 years ago. This way of life is estimated to have had estimated to have persisted from approximately 4,000 years and was characterized by hunting. That's a long damn time. This is prior to Egypt, though. As well as a unique approach to food gathering and incorporated the preparation and consumption of wild grasses and grains. All right, I already gave y'all a source, the Middle Eastern studies. The systematic efforts were made by the Kadan people to water, care for, and harvest local plant life, but grains were not planted in ordered rows. And here we go. Here's the map so y'all can see it. All right. It's right here. So you see Abu Simbel, right? You see the first cataract and Aswan. All right. I want you to know that half of Nubia is in Egypt. Never forget that. But this civilization existed between the first cataract and the second cataract on the Nile. All right. Prior to Egypt, prior to Nubia, we cooking right now. Ask me if they black people. Of course not. Of course they're not black people. Ask me their skin color. Well, they're ranging. They're getting darker. The closer you get to Sudan, which is closer to the equator, they get darker. But they're in Upper Egypt, where you find the darkest population. You know what I'm saying? Then in Upper Egypt. My fault. Then in Lower Egypt. Remember, Lower Egypt is up here near Cairo. All right? So that population is lighter. I never understand why people only show you pictures from Cairo, but they won't come down here in Luxor and in Aswan and show you pictures of these Egyptians down here. Oh, but they just do. Okay, so you're saying half of Upper Egypt is new. So Egyptians don't live in Egypt and southern Egypt. So we fighting over skin color. See, they don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, let us move forward here. Oh, yeah, he's trying to say they was the black people. Man, shut the hell up. Ain't nobody said none of that. I'm giving you the information you're supposed to have here. Okay. It says the archaeological terms Kadan culture is generally viewed as a cluster of Mesolithic stage communities living in Nubia in the Upper Nile Valley prior to 9,000 BCE. And there you go. You're talking about the grinding stones and all that. How long I've been talking about that? Okay, characterized diverse stone tool industry, taking and representing increasing degrees of specialization and local differentiated regional groupings. There you go, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, where's it at again? See, because y'all playing. I don't know why they play with me, yo. They probably need to pick somebody else, yo. Back to here again. Mm-hmm. Let's see where it's located at. I'll read it again because everybody lose their mind. One early group to settle in Egypt. What they say they selling at in Egypt is defined as Kadan culture, 13,000, 10,000 BCE, situated between the second cataract and southern Egypt, which would be what? Upper Egypt. All right. There you go. So that's where they situated at. All right. Okay. So let's get back to the book. All right. Did I move the book? Oh, before I move the book, I want y'all to see this. All right. The British Museum, Violence and Climate Change in Prehistoric Egypt and Sudan. So there was a war in these areas here. in prehistoric times, man. And here you go. You see the excavation sites, see the bones and stuff. Hope y'all can see that. All right, this is actually the Jibol Shahaba. The little red circles or the light pale red circles are victims of violence. Okay, amongst the let me see. Amongst the most exciting of the acquisitions are the materials from the site of Jebel Shabara. All right, yeah, Windorf. That's part of Dr. Windorf collection. Remember, he gave the Nubia and Egyptian museums over 1 million artifacts, right? And I guess this is part of it. But here are the bones. I want you to see this. All right. All right. So I gave y'all 3 sources on it. I gave you the Wikipedia. I gave you the British Museum. Okay. And I gave you the book on Near Eastern Studies. Remember that word, Near Eastern Studies. An up-to-date book still considering Egypt Near Eastern Studies, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, Ankh, you making a big deal out of it. You just doing this, you're just doing that. Let me hit him again. All right, I want to hit y'all with another source. This is something they can't do, right? Insight into the interpersonal violence in the late Pliocene, based in the Nile Valley Cemetery at Jebel Shaba. This is in scientific reports in the Journal of Nature. I'm behind the paywall. All right. So I'm not going to read all this, but let me see. Something I do want to bring out right here. Okay. There is little evidence of human occupation at the end of the late Pliocene. It say in the Nile Valley. It say with sites restricted to floodplains. Let me see. Restricted to floodplains. Watch this. Of Upper Egypt and Nubia. Restrict. So listen, here's where the human occupation is. Upper Egypt and Nubia. There you go. You say, of these, few have yielded complete human remains. These include Jebel Shaba, let me see, Tuska, that's site 8905, Wadi Kabbalah, Wadi Kabania, and site 6B36 at Wadi Hafa. It's currently different lithic industries have been identified with these sites associated with the end of the late Pliocene. These occur in the restricted geological areas along the Nile, mainly in Upper Egypt. What's that? Four good sources, right? Okay, so there we go. Now let's get back to the book. And we're going to get back to the book, right? We want to see what this book has to say about the race of the Egyptians. All right? Because I think this is important. They talk shit about Diops and them. They talk shit about Dr. Ben and them. They talk crazy, yo. Yeah, for no reason. Yo. You just throw away the stuff they got wrong and rock with the stuff they got right and just call it a day. So, okay, now we go to chapter 5. Not chapter 5, section 5. We want to come right here to right here, y'all. Debating the evidence of race and ethnicity in ancient Egypt, page 161. Here we go. Since the 18th and 19th century, you need to tell them dudes over there, there has been much popular interest in the racial identity of the ancient Egyptians. European scholars raised the issue by posing theories, that the Egyptian civilization was produced by, immigration or invasion of the dynastic race. European scholars raised the issue. Remember, I kept saying white people said that. Remember, I kept saying that? The issue posing the theories of Egyptian civilization was produced by migration or invasion of the dynastic race. That's who? Peachtree. That's your man, Chief X guy. And Waddell, 1930. And Emory. We just talked about Emory. Remember that? Watch this. The invading race was Caucasians. That's what Chief X says. Newcomers from the what? The Near East, or even Aryan Sumerians. Time again, early Egyptologists insisted that the Egyptian civilization was a product of what, y'all? Near Eastern. And we're learning about this in a book entitled Near Eastern Studies. We're talking about Egypt in the Near Eastern Study. Why is this important? Watch this. White. It's immigrants who brought with them tools and intelligence to kickstart Egypt's rise. Statements such as civilizations of Africa are the civilizations of the Hamites. Crazy. They say the incoming Hamites were pastoral Europeans arriving wave after wave, better armed as well as quicker witted than the darker archaeological Negroes. That's wild. Agricultural Negroes. Read this again. The incoming Hamites were pastoral Europeans, arriving wave after wave, better armed as well as quicker witted, look, smarter, more intelligent, right? Than the darker agricultural Negroes. So obviously Negroes was there. See how they use that racialized term? Just like I said, they was trying to say that. And they were saying that the people came in was smarter than them, had better weapons than them. Crazy, yo. Typifying. And look, typifying, y'all can look that word up. Y'all know what it is? Typifying anthropologically and Egyptologically attitudes of the period. That's my point. That was the damn attitude. But I'm sitting there arguing with people that don't know that. Watch this. Today's archaeological evidence. Watch this. For the gradual development of Egyptian civilization from prehistoric periods onward has caused the idea of the influx of dynastic race in early Egypt, somebody tell Chief X, to be completely abandoned. 2003. Somebody go tell that dude. Somebody go tell the Chief X clan, yo, get that together, yo. Tell them get that together. Now watch this. It is against such explicitly racist views that figures like Shikanti Diop, see, he in the work. Remember I told y'all whenever I talk to Egyptologists, they force them to study Diops. Not force them, but that's part of the study now. When they get in their doctorate level, they got to study those scholars. So if they was that much trash, then why study it? You just throw them out the window. It says in 1960, introduced the idea that the Egyptians is essentially a black African civilization. 1974. He said his idea started a movement called what? Afrocentrism. The Afrocentric movement, y'all. It says to contrast, now why they created? To contrast Eurocentrism of European and American scholars. Van Sertima, 1989. Sante, 1980. It's a Afrocentrism argues that ancient Egypt was a black African culture. And that ancient Egypt is the origin for many of the hallmarks of later, look, Greco-Roman culture, and therefore Western civilization. Yeah, they was making that statement right now. I wonder how close they got that one, huh? Let me read this again. It said Afrocentrism argues that the ancient Egyptians was a black African culture and that ancient Egypt is the origin of many of the hallmarks of later Greco-Roman culture and therefore Western civilization. This view was popularized by Mark Burnell, right, in his hugely popular work, Black Athena, okay? In 3 volumes, Burnell chronicled how Greek civilization, all right, derived many of its okay, salient features from Egypt and the Levant. Most of Brunel's claims have been refuted by historians, classicists, and archaeologists. And that's Lekowicz. Y'all know he battled against her, right? And Rogers. Young. Let's say, nevertheless, watch this now, listen closely. Nevertheless, Brunel's work have caused scholars to pay more attention to the ways in which the ancient Near East did influence Greece. Brunel's writings also have virtually put an end to the notion that Western civilization had its roots only in Greece and Rome. Goes on to say the question of whether the Egyptians was black or not is harder to tackle. It is not uncommon to see comments and articles on the internet and popular forums that assert that this or that pharaoh was African with Negro features. Goes on to clear patch and all that. I don't want to do that. Let me see. Hold on. Egyptologists generally dismiss these claims out of hand. See what I'm saying? Instead, referencing the distinctions Egyptians made between black colored Nubians from modern Sudan. It say, and the lighter skinned images of Egyptian pharaohs and the officials in their art. Let me keep going. It say, they also point out that physical differences were not as important to the Egyptians as modern Westerners. The main criteria, this is what people don't understand, the main criteria Egyptians used to define themselves relative to others were cultural nature. So you hear Concrete Corey Head in the video say, y'all keep talking about culture. Yes, because this is what distinguished you and made you Egyptian, was the culture. Not racial. It say anyone who was born in Egypt, spoke the Egyptian language, and shared the Egyptian culture was an Egyptian, a true person. In the ancient Egyptian language, the same word meant Egyptian or person. Outsiders were all thought to be somewhat inferior, but that was because of their cultures, not their skin colors. There you go. Now watch this. It is true that Egyptologists have been slow to acknowledge the African elements of Egyptian civilizations. In many academic works, Egypt is presented as in Africa, right? But not of Africa. See, that's what Chief X did. See, that's the works he's reading. Look, and for Chefenel with the Egyptian name, Van D, 2001. So this is the 2001 link. You know how they doing this. That's my fault. In 2011, this is how they doing it. It say Egypt is thus thought of as a Near Eastern society, isolated from the rest of Sub-Sahara. Read black. It say Africa. It says this book too. See, they tell me, watch this. This book too is guilty of this because it discusses Egypt in its Near Eastern context. Look at that. When one looks more closely, the African nature of early Egypt becomes evidence. I'm reading it again. When one looks more closely, the African nature of early Egypt becomes evidence. New research, especially in Nubia, argues that the Egyptian civilization and Nubian civilization is developed from the same roots and continue to influence each other in a multifold ways. From one time, the Sahara Desert did not form a formidable barrier with the South and the West until its fully desertification at the end of the 3rd millennium BCE. Second, Egypt maintained close economic and political ties with Nubia and other communities in Africa throughout its history. Perhaps even cultural connections than with the greater Near Eastern world. Goes on to say, in this view, Egypt is essentially an African culture that developed many ties to the Mediterranean, see that? And the rest of the Near Eastern over a course of its history. It follows that ancient Egyptians are the same original population group as Nubians and other Saharian populations, with some genetic input from Arabia, the Levant, and North Africa, and Indo-European groups who are known to have settled in Egypt during a long history. This is borne out in studies, and this is borne out by studies of cranial measurements to determine biological relationships between populations. One such recent study concluded that the pre-dynastic Egyptians are most closely aligned to the Nubians rather than the samples from the Levant. I'm going to end it right here. Well, I'll keep reading this. I'm going to finish right here. I don't want people to think I'm trying to hide something. On the other hand, genetic studies in modern northern African populations generally suggest a big influx of Near Eastern populations during the Neolithic period or earlier. There you go. Then he goes on to talk about the Suleiman study. Look, the Suleiman study and all that, and goes and it critiques the whole thing. All right. So there you go. Think I made my point here. All right. Simple. This is not hard. This is simple work right here, man. Simple. Interesting, man. So look, man, we cooking with hot grease, man. Look, hit that, man. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, man. Man, keep that going, man. Man, show some love, man. All right. We're going to keep it rocking right here. So I think we made our point tonight, man. We got 60,000 in the building, man. So that's a great book right there. Y'all should get a copy of that book, man. The Eastern book. The book tell you that, damn, they guilty of doing this shit, casting it in this Near Eastern context. And that was funny, right? Let me see. Hold on. So they still run their mouth about the Mediterranean thing, right? Full blown, right? So I want to get them out of here. And I would like to start with Greece. I think it's important to start with Greece. Yeah, I do. I think it's very, very important to start with Greece. Here we go. So I want y'all to know what it is. Here's the question. Is Greece rooted in the Mediterranean or Africa? All right. Basic points. Greece is deeply rooted in the Mediterranean in terms of its geography, culture, and historical development. Although it had some early interactions with Africa, particularly through trade and colonization, Mediterranean roots. Talks about geography. It says Greece is part of the Mediterranean basin. Say this again. Say Greece is part of the Mediterranean basin. Do y'all know what the Mediterranean basin is? I did a class, remember? Here's the Mediterranean basin. In red. So the red is the Mediterranean basin. The burgundy. See that? All that is the Mediterranean. Spain, all that is clean there. Italy, all in there is just on the coastline of Egypt, though. See that? That's the Mediterranean basin. All right? And so Greece is rooted in the Mediterranean basin. Y'all see that, right? This is Köppen map. The Köppen map. All right? See these colors right here, right? These colors are coded, and there's a key here. So when you go to the Köppen map, you see the red. The red is the desert climate. When you see the Mediterranean climate, it's the yellow and that green, that army green. All right? So you see small portions of that showing up in the valley. Barely. It's basically a desert climate. All right. I do this for a reason. Let me see. Here it go again. The map of Mediterranean basin. Look. Ecoregions. Look. The Aegean and Western Turkey. Now look at this. See that? You see? Over on the right side of Sinai Peninsula. Okay. All right. Y'all see that, right? Now that they give you a whole better picture. Let's get back to where we at. Geographically located, Greece is part of the Mediterranean basin with its mainland and numerous islands situated along the Aegean and Ionian seas. There you go. Culture and historical development. Ancient Greece culture, especially during the classical period, was closely connected with other Mediterranean civilizations. All right. African interactions. Trade with Egypt and Libya. While Greece's roots are Mediterranean, there were interactions with African culture, particularly in Egypt and Libya. Ancient Greeks had close trade relations with Egypt from the Bronze Age onward, which continues into the classical period. There you go. Cultural influences. Some Greek philosophers and historians, such as Herodotus, traveled to Egypt and were influenced by its ancient wisdom. Egyptian ideas, especially in religion and philosophy, contributed to early Greek thought. Okay, but the core development of Greek culture remained firmly in the Mediterranean. Conclusion. Greece's roots lie firmly in the Mediterranean, where it played a pivotal role in shaping the history and culture of the region. While there were important interactions with Africa, particularly Egypt and Libya, these were more about cultural exchanges and influences rather than, look at this, foundational roots. Let's go back to Herodotus. All right. He definitely traveled to Egypt, right? And got some of that influence. We're going to stop right there. Here's sources for you. Greek overseas, the Oxford History of the Classical World, African origin of classical civilizations. There you have it. So now let's get to this thing right here y'all really want to hear, since they've been arguing. Okay. Now, we heard Corey talk about the Mediterranean term being a scientific term. Did we not hear that? Yeah, I think we did, yo. Okay, was the term Mediterranean used as racist way when applied to Egypt in early Egyptology? The term Mediterranean was indeed used in a problematic and often racially biased way in the early history of Egyptology. During the 19th and 20th centuries, many European scholars were influenced by the prevailing racial theories of their time, which sought to classify human populations into hierarchy categories based on physical characteristics, presumed levels of civilization. There you go. There you have it. The term Mediterranean, when applied to early Egyptology, was indeed used in a way that reflected and reinforced the racial biases of the time, seeking to align Egypt more closely with European history and to distance it from African context. And based off the book we just read, said that they're actually guilty of making some of these mistakes. I just read that, and that's an up-to-date work. See, they be playing with y'all because they ain't got no work for real. Okay. So I already know, yes, the term Mediterranean was used racially bound. That's cool. We got that straight. They give you breasted. Look, James Breasted, that's the one with the map. Flanders Petrie, that's the that's the Chief X crew, the clan, right? There you go. Prominent Egyptologists, all that. Okay, so we come right here real quick. Is the term Mediterranean scientific? That's what your man Corey said. The term Mediterranean, when used to describe a Mediterranean race or as a racial classification, is not considered scientifically valid by modern standards. The concept originated in the 19th and 20th centuries during the time when scholars attempted to categorize humans into distinct racial groups based on physical characteristics and geographical reasons. This classification was part of the broader attempt to create a hierarchy distinctions amongst human populations, which were often influenced by racial colonial ideas of the time. Yeah, man. It's not scientifically valid, yo. I ain't got to read all that. Y'all got it. We close it out. In conclusion, the term Mediterranean as a racial classification is not scientifically valid. And this considered outdated by modern anthropological genetic researchers. Outdated. They run around fighting with outdated terms. They say it is best used to describe the geography, the geographic and cultural context of the Mediterranean region rather than any supposed racial grouping. So whenever they tither back and forth between Mediterranean people and Mediterranean culture, you got to watch that. So here we go. Does Egypt have deep roots in Africa on the Nile River or deep roots on the Mediterranean Sea? Ancient Egypt has its deepest roots in Africa, particularly along the Nile River, though it also developed significant connections with the Mediterranean region over time. Over time. See that? See how they say that? African roots along the Nile. Geographically, environmental context, ancient Egypt emerged along the Nile River, which provided essential resources needed for agriculture, transportation, and communication. Talk about the flooding and all that, right? We know that. Cultural linguistic connection. The cultural linguistic heritage of ancient Egypt is deeply rooted in Africa. The early inhabitants of the Nile Valley, particularly during the pre-dynastic periods, 3100, were closely connected to other African cultures. The linguistic evidence also suggests that the ancient Egyptians is part of the larger Afro-Asiatic family with connections to languages spoken across North and East Africa. Archaeological evidence, archaeological findings in Nubia, to the south of Egypt, and other parts of the Sahara show that there were significant cultural exchanges and shared practices between these regions and the early societies. This includes similarities, pottery styles, burial practices, and religious iconography, all of which suggest a shared African heritage, Mediterranean connection. This is the one they like to all glorify. Trade and foreign influence. While ancient Egypt's roots are primarily African, its geographical location allowed for extensive interaction with the Mediterranean world. By the time of the New Kingdom, Egypt had established a trade network that extended into the Mediterranean, linking into cultures such as the Minoans, Mycenaeans, and the late Phoenicians and the Greeks. Political and cultural exchange. Egypt's interaction with the Mediterranean powers, especially during the late periods in the Ptolemaic era, brought significant cultural and political influence from Mediterranean. Greek and Roman influence became prominent, particularly in art and architecture and governance. Conclusion. While ancient Egypt developed extensive ties with the Mediterranean world, y'all, its fundamental roots are deeply embedded in the African context of the Nile Valley. The civilization's development was heavily influenced by its African environment, culture, and interaction with neighboring African peoples, which shaped its unique identity before and alongside its later, keyword here, later Mediterranean connections, y'all. We have all the sources: Oxford History of Egypt, Egypt in Africa, UNESCO General History of Africa. All right. So y'all see the difference between Greece being a Mediterranean culture and Egypt. Y'all see the difference there? This is important for us to get. You see how they all do me? See? They can't help themselves. I just bring the good information, yo. Now I'm back home now. Boy, I tell you, man. Boy, this is a wild ride I've been on with this thing right here, yo. And I mean a wild ride, y'all. And I mean a wild ride. After all that, Man, for all that, let's hit the video. Oh shit. Let me see. I want to play the Diops. I don't want to play no damn. I want to do that. The world Egypt caught. No, I don't want to do that. Let me see. Mm. 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 All right. I don't want to play that. Let me go back to this real quick so I can get y'all out of here. Yo, we're at 2 hours and a half. We definitely want to get out of here. So let's see. Let's go back a little bit.
You can name then moved away from everybody to have certain things, right?
You know, they was
Go ahead, pay close attention. Any word, if used.
Now, y'all hear Corey saying, don't pull me into the black conversation. Y'all hear that? Let's continue. See, this is where we was at first.
Derogatory can be racist. So you can misuse the term Mediterranean in a racist way. When you try to usurp another people's culture by applying, right, Mediterranean on it, that term becomes racist. Because it's definitely changing, trying to, at least verbally and scholastically, change a culture that is indigenous to a certain land. That's a racist. The way they used it was racist because they were trying to say that the niggas in Africa couldn't have did that. So it had to be an invading race from the Mediterranean. Come on, man. Go
Now, hold on. Now, think about that, y'all. Now, how could, if a person wasn't saying the Egyptians was black, how could they ever make that stance?
See how that sound now? After all that I put together, yeah, that sound crazy, don't it?
Penalties. Because when you was talking,
like, I never argued.
Derogatory towards us, we'll hone in on and act like the whole field was saying that, right?
The whole field was saying that. I just proved that. 99% of them was saying that was the consensus. What's wrong with them? That's during the time period of scientific racism. Somebody go get them guys, man. There's people like Morton, the father of scientific racism. He's the father of scientific racism. He was getting the skulls from Bresson and them, yo. I'm telling you that scientific racism started in Egypt, yo. Because that's where they started to try to determine races, yo. Like, really? Let me make it more clear because they're trying to clip this up. I am telling you that scientific racism is grounded in early Egyptology, yo. Come on, man. Come on, it shouldn't be this easy, man. Wow, I don't know what they're talking about, yo. Wild.
And that's just not true. But it was true. Out there in that small field of Egyptology. It was postulated that there was an invading race from the Mediterranean that came and created civilization in Egypt. All right. Now, how mainstream that was, I don't know.
See,
but it wasn't the only theory at the time, and it's been thus disproven. And the fact that we know that it was disproven because Corey, you didn't know nothing about it.
No, see, that's the problem that Corey don't know nothing about it because he arguing with me. There's a problem that he doesn't know that science moves slow because you arguing with me. There's a problem that y'all don't understand that the whole field of Egyptology was wroth with the foolery. That's actually the foundation of scientific racism. Why? Because Morton is the father of scientific racism. Oh, they didn't know that Morton was the father of scientific racism? Crazy, yo. Let me see. Man, yo, how they know that Morton was the father of scientific racism, yo? Samuel Morton, y'all, was an American physician, a naturalist, and a writer. As one of the early figures of scientific racism, he argued against monogenes, the single creation story of the Bible, instead supporting polygenesis, a theory of multiple racial creations. Come on, man. Y'all know where Morton got the scars from, don't y'all? From Egypt. Oh man, yo, it's crazy, yo. Samuel Morton is often thought of as the originator of the American School of Ethnology, a school of thought in the antebellum America and American science that claimed the difference between humans was one of species rather than variety, and is seen by some as the origin of scientific racism. Oh wow. Whatever I got tied to something, don't I? Let me see. Let me turn the page. Where am I at? 40. All right, hold on. I gotta find Morton's name in the damn document. I know I do. Am I going the wrong way? Here you go. Here you go. Y'all see the book. When I was talking about breasted. Here you go. This is my Egypt book. Easy work. And you know, I ain't even trying to show off, right? But I actually got the book. Look. I got Morton's in them book, yo. Knots, Morton in them. Hold on. It's knots. All right. These are all the ones that was making these racial claims, yo. Here you go. Got this book right here. Types of Humankind, Ethnology Researchers, based upon the ancient monuments and paintings and sculptures and cranium of races upon their natural, geographical, philosophical, and biblical history. George Robin Gibbons, Josh Clark Knotts, and Samuel George Morton. Here you go, y'all. And the book is based off of what? Off of ancient monuments and shit. And what ancient monuments would that be? I wonder. Let me do this. I wonder. What ancient monuments would that be? They had some Egyptians in here. Boy. It ain't even supposed to be this easy, yo. It ain't, yo, but they just keep doing it, yo. I don't know why they do it, yo. I ain't been confused about nothing, yo. I was around a whole bunch of confused ass people. Is what's really did it. Come on, yo. Around a whole bunch of confused people. You go. Scientific racism and ancient Egyptian depictions of foreigners. Here, authors such as Morton. Did I just say Morton? And Giddens approached the ancient Egyptian iconography as a photographic variety. It say Morton compared Egyptian representations of women in the 15th and 11th century, Debian tombs in Egypt, and Nubian girls of his time, and argued that the Negroes were numerous. Here we go. In ancient Egypt. See? Now watch what he talk about the Negroes, though. This numerous in Egypt. I hope I ain't got to look at the word numerous in ancient Egypt, but that their social position was the same as in his time, that of servants and slaves. Morton's ideas were welcomed in the American South, where they were used to justify what? Slavery, y'all. Knotts and Gittins wrote, the monuments in Egypt prove that Negro races have not, during 4,000 years, at least been able to make a solitary step in Negro land from their savage state. The modern experience of the United States and the West Indies confirm the teachings of the monuments of history, and our remarks on cranium hereafter seem to render, man, this is crazy, man. It's crazy, yo. They looked at the skulls, man, and said, based off the skulls, yo, that these people ain't got the ability, yo. They don't even have a brighter future, yo. That they're inferior. Go on and say, however, how sad, how sad the thought may be. Crazy, yo. They all have a brighter future than these, organically inferior types. This man said organically inferior types. That's Knox and Giddin. Comparing Egyptian representation of captives and Nubians from the New Kingdom monuments, they argued that they obtained proof that the Negro has remained unchanged in Africa, above Egypt, for 8,000 years, man, coupled with the fact that the same type during some 8th or 10th generations of sojourn in the United States is still reserved despite, man, transportation. That's crazy. Transportation, that's crazy, man. Plantation, it's crazy, yo. Yo said bright fruit, man. Yo said all probability of a brighter future for these organically inferior. They call us organically inferior, yo. So I'm in there having a conversation with dudes that don't even know that Morton in them, that Knox in them, yo. Like I'm that the foundation of the scientific racism is in these people that studied in Egypt. This is crazy, yo. You go back to the video again, yo, like they didn't even know that, yo.
The fact that you don't know nothing about it and all of the stuff they're bringing civilization is.
W-H-I-T.
Like, I never argued about tripping.
No, relax. No.
I don't want to be brought into that.
No. Listen.
Go ahead.
Pay close attention. Any word, if you use derogatively, can be racist. So you can misuse the term Mediterranean in a racist way. When you try to usurp another people's culture by applying, right, Mediterranean on it, that term becomes racist. Because it's definitely trying to, at least verbally and scholastically, change a culture that is indigenous to certain lands. That's a racist. The way they use it was racist because they was trying to say that the niggas in Africa couldn't have did that. So it had to be an invading race from the Mediterranean. Come on, man.
Invading race? No, no. Nobody's. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know.
Really? So you don't get how they use the Mediterranean and Asia. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to listen.
What I'm gonna say.
No, you don't see that. Hey, I'm wrong with that, yo. I made that up.
That didn't sound right to me.
Wait, yo. You don't understand
So that doesn't sound right to him. So the real data don't sound right to him, huh? Because he doesn't know it. That's why it doesn't sound right to him. Come on, man. Come on.
Asia, the Mediterranean that formed Egyptian culture. You don't get that, or you just fucking with
No, nobody ever said that. Nope.
So then, if so,
and then
so
furthermore, you talk about how they traded with the Nubians first. I'm like, I never argued about who traded with who first. Like that's nothing. That's never been my argument. What I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
I don't want to talk. I'm gonna talk to Q. Q,
let me just let me say this
Q,
again.
bro. You tapped out.
When we talking about and then I don't even get the whole point where y'all keep saying, well, when you talk about Egyptians, you can't talk about genetics. It's like why are they so special? What's so special about the Egyptians that when you talk about them, you can't talk about genetics? You know what I mean? It just don't even make sense to me.
Because I read it, yo. When you talk about genetics, that's not what make you. Your genetics don't make you a damn Egyptian, man. That's why I read all that literature for y'all. Yo, go back and listen to the download, man. Go back and listen to the works that I read. That's why I took time out, made sure I organized it. This is the craziest thing ever, yo. You got people over here in this other chat talking about Uncle Musician. I ain't no damn musician. This shit came from the daggone books. It's not my fault, yo, that they don't know that the origin of scientific racism is in Egypt by the people like the father of scientific racism is Morton, who took the scars from Africa proper and messed it all up.
Yeah, well, you know what?
I can't hardly make it make sense to me. I'm talking about.
I'm gonna wait till you turn your brain on.
And when you're talking about, see, the thing is, y'all saying culture, right? But y'all, why is y'all keep trying to make the Nubian culture the Egyptian culture? Like, why can't the Nubians have their own shit? They ain't allowed to have their own culture. They ain't allowed. Them niggas ain't allowed to have their own culture.
Yeah,
they got to be the same as the Egyptians.
Not tonight.
It don't make sense to me.
Yeah, you rolled down the tracks. I'm letting you know you done went three
I'm just
different
laying
things
out
away
your
from what we
whole
were saying.
argument. I'm laying out everything you said yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
That's not fair,
just addressing it one by one.
Nope, since you don't understand how white people, WHITE,
I don't.
White people, hold on.
I don't
White
know
people
about
say
white people and black people.
Hold on.
I don't know none of them.
No, white people.
That don't make sense to me when you start talking that.
Listen. I'm gonna say this real quick for you. Racist white people in the 1800s that started the field of Egyptology called the Egyptians a Mediterranean race. That's the bullshit, bro. And they said it was an outside force that invaded.
No, I don't think they did.
I
don't think they called them Mediterranean race. I don't know.
All right, so we got a point.
And see, they think that shit funny, yo.
The Mediterranean race. I think some they definitely mentioned that, but that wasn't mainstream, right?
Did this man just say it wasn't mainstream? Yo, that was the only damn stream at the time. What the hell is wrong with these cats, man? It was. You talking about father Egyptology? It's breasted, yo. This nigga, he draw a map. He drew a map. Come on, man. I can't make this up, yo. They don't know who breasted is, yo. How you don't know who he is the mainstream? You don't want nobody be feuding him because want nobody in there digging. Oh, man. James breasted. How important is this, man? Yo think it's like the group, you know how now you got a whole, you got a whole field of Egyptology, yo. You know what I'm saying? That ain't even what that was in them times. Yo. It wasn't no whole field. That nigga was the field. James Breasted, yo, 1935, yo. Man, Berlin. James Breasted, marriage, family, Donna. academic career. Breasted popularized. This nigga is popularized in terms of Fertile Crescent. Man. Became instructor at University of Chicago. Let me see. What else he do? The museum contains works of art from both Near Eastern and Far Eastern. Breasted's principal interest was in Egypt. Compilation of, let me see, exact hieroglyphic inscriptions. Let me see, ancient records, published in 1906, ancient records. Continues to be an important part of his collection, translation. So he was doing translations, yo. Hold on. Museum, and establishing a research institute, laboratory, and studying the rise and development of civilizations. Hold on. Let me see. That would trace Western civilization to its roots in ancient Middle East. He wrote, hold on. Rockefeller responded 50,000 donated. Let me see, 40,000 over 5 years. Oriental Institute. Hold on. Emory. General literature. Look at all the works he put in there. And dude had his own map. I showed y'all the map, right? Come on, man. If one were asked to name a scholar who, above all others, stimulated the development of ancient historical studies in the United States during this early part of the 12th century, that honor would have to fall to the colossus figure of James Breasted. Oh, man. Yeah. Dawn of Conscience. Man. Breasted's book. Let me see. Freud. Let me see. History of Egypt in the earliest times, ancient records, documents, the early times of the Persian conquest. Look, man, they don't even know who Breasted is, which is crazy to me, yo. Crazy. Man. Yeah. Anyway, man, I just find it just appalling at times, man. They would play like that with my name, yo.
Right. That was one of the postulations, right? Now what
The whole field was saying that. The hell. What's up, Gullah?
It was good with it. Yeah, that was the consensus. The consensus back then. You know.
Why am I arguing with these guys, yo?
I don't know, yo.
When you went on there, yo, did you tell them they just was crazy?
Yeah, I just told him like, sure. I told him, Dr. Ben ain't pseudo. I never was a fan of Dr. Ben myself. You know what I'm saying? I was leaning to Clark, but I wouldn't call him a pseudo though. You know.
No, I'm talking about them acting like they wasn't using Mediterranean and that wasn't the consensus at the time. That is the craziest shit ever, yo.
Yeah,
say that.
That's why I say when you put race on it, you know what I'm saying? That's the outdated shit. Now, if you talk about Mediterranean cultures, like cultures, like multi cultures of the Mediterranean, you talking about something that's real.
Man, yo.
Yeah, but when you put that race on it, like you can even look it up. It's a wiki page say Mediterranean race, and it go along with that same, Carl Coon and you know what I'm saying, that type shit.
Yeah, I just can't believe people don't understand that, yo. Yeah, I don't know. I thought they understood all that, bro. I was actually telling people to understand that, yo. We were talking about this shit for years, yo. You can't even separate Breasted and Rosner and them and Morton and them from the scientific racism. There's no separation because this shit started in Egypt. Am I wrong in that, yo?
No, it started right there. I was like shoot, truth and behold, shoot, like for us like the Mediterranean cultures or whatever, shoot, the Afro-Asiatic speakers coming in from the Red Sea brought that flavor to that area anyway. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody there at first, but shoot, with Iberian Maroons and the Tyrian culture before them, you know what I'm saying? But the Afro-Asiatic people, they brought more advanced culture to their region. That's why you get, even when you think of a Mediterranean culture, even in Southern Europe, you know, with that type of culture, with the flatbreads and the wheat and barley culture and all that, they come from the grain collecting culture that came out of the Red Sea Hills in the first place.
Facts. Facts. Yeah, man. I guess it's better to have a conversation with people to just understand it, yo. You know what I'm saying, yo? Like it's the whole. We've been on this study for years, bro. And we know all the key players, at least most of them. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we're gonna know who Breasted is. We're gonna know that he had a map. And he called him the Nordic race, the Alpine race in the Mediterranean. We're like, we know that.
Oh
Crazy,
yeah.
yo.
Yeah, the Alpine was the Irish dudes.
Nubian Sudan, they was the Mediterranean race. Crazy shit happened, yo.
Yeah, they had it looking like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
The elves, dwarves, and the hobbits.
Oh, it's crazy, yo. I don't know, but I just wanted, just touch them up a little bit, man. I'm gonna get out of here. You got anything to add, yo? I ain't check out your part of the conversation, yo. I think you was on the show.
Yeah, I was on there for a little minute. I had to jump off. You know what I'm saying? It was getting too shaky over there. So I'm going ahead and leave.
What they was doing? Oh, you said it got a little shaky. They start talking reckless.
Yeah, I was listening. I was listening for a long time. But I was on, but I was listening. I talked to a little, here and there, but I'm like, you know what I'm saying? There's some people on there that disrespected me before, but you know what I'm saying? I ain't finna, had to jump off of that thing,
man. Oh man. Monica Lamb, big up the Mo. I see you Thursday. I'm diving in Wednesday. And thanks for that support and get me to that damn conference, shorty. So we will be at the Black Geologists Conference in Atlanta. This how we doing it, yo. Cause why? Cause I'm a science advocate. Man, let me stop playing with these guys, man. These guys be playing, man. Let me stop, man.
My next show, I had to pay my Zoom bill. I paid my Zoom bill this week. I'm finna go back live.
You can always use my Zoom, yo. What you doing, yo? What you playing, yo? Got friends in high places.
Should I know now? Then shoot, but I'm
stop it.
I really wanna touch down on the cattle domestication in Africa. You know what I'm saying? I want to tackle. Me and Sosa had an interesting conversation about it already in the chats, but I'm gonna go ahead and present it out.
All right, bang it out, yo. Bang it out. Let me see who we got here to add on to you. A wild speed. What's going on, bro? A wild speed. Oh man, what's up with you, brother?
Yo, what's up?
What up with you? What's on your mind?
Oh man, you done beat up Chief X too much, man. Leave him alone, man. That's enough, man. I'm gonna throw in the towel for him.
Throwing the towel. That's him and Corey and them. Yeah, put the towel in for him, yo.
Throw the towel in for Chief X, man. It's bad.
That was on Corey and them. This one was against Corey and them.
Yeah, I went over there today. They were trying to bang on Dr. Ben, man. I had to.
Because he's not pseudo.
Dr. Ben.
But he's not pseudo. You can put it right in ChatGPT to tell you did not.
Yeah, man, I had to defend Dr. Ben. See, Dr. Ben he was ahead of his time, man.
In some areas he was, in some areas he
was look. Especially when he got to breaking out talking about the Israelites from West Africa, some of them clans, man. See, some of them clans like Hey, look. Some of them clans that he was naming, I got scholars in 2024 that agreed with him, and some of the stuff I was bringing out today over there.
I
See,
heard you.
and then some of those clans like the Susu Israelites, they are on slave documents. See, their oral history is saying the same thing that the Bible is saying. I got like 20, 30 different clans from the Wolof, from the Igbo. So you can't just say all of the Wolof. You got to go to the clans, the Mandinka. See, I got all that information. There's nobody in this community no more that can ever say, show me an Israelite that got off the slave ship. They can't do that no more.
You have to show me that, bro, because the last rabbi was a Berber, bro. They got pictures of the last rabbi in Timbuktu, and he don't look nothing like them West Central African people.
See what I'm talking about? You 2013. You see, I'm 2030 right now. I'm way ahead of you. So if you and I want to have this conversation on this channel, I bring my sources, brother. I bring my sources. My references.
ChatGPT will get you out of here, boy.
Yeah, man.
Hey, bro.
One thing I had a problem with Dr. Ben was, I don't know, it's just me. I'm from the Show Me State, but
that's what I'm saying.
I gotta see what his background is. I don't know. I can't see that he be like him being bent to Israel. You know what I'm saying?
Mandinka. Hey. The Bakongo. See, this is the Bakongo Judah. You see what I'm saying? These are a clan. Yeah, see, bro. Yes.
Hey, bro.
Because you say it, bro. How about me and you tomorrow? Come on. Hey, Ankh, set this up for tomorrow. Me and this guy, and I'm a schooler, like I did Chief X.
I got Christopher Eric book, Civilizations of Africa, and then on one part of that book it say about Bantu migrations being any Bakongo Jews.
I ain't saying nothing about look, bro. I got proof. Have you ever heard of the Susu? Do you know where they're from? You don't.
Yeah,
See, I got tribes and clans that you ain't never heard of in your life. And this is the continent. This is just that's
bro. The Susu is a
one at a time. Go ahead.
Susu is a sub of Mindi people, bro. They Mindi people. They ain't nobody.
No, they ain't, bro. They from the Mandinka. And I got some from the Wolof.
Bro, hold on, bro.
Hold up, bro. Instead of us doing this, I like a clock. That way you can't interrupt me. That's where I do my damage.
All right.
Set this up for tomorrow. Set it up for tomorrow. Will you be here tomorrow?
Yep, we're set for tomorrow.
Hey, I got this guy. What time tomorrow? What time tomorrow you want to smoke?
Do it. It's a champion right there. You don't mess with that champion. It's a champion.
He already messed up because I said Mende is the broad view of Mende people. Mandinka or Malinke people is a subgroup of Mende people themselves, and Susu is another subgroup.
Okay, hold on, watch this. Let me get it. Hold on, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna show you tomorrow. Queen Nzinga. Do you know who Queen Nzinga is?
Never heard of that.
She say that she come from the tribe of Judah. I got sources. You hear me? Yeah, I'm gonna shock the world tomorrow, and you're gonna be. Hey, bro, you gonna be on my list. A new guy. What's your name?
Ain't no new guy.
I like to know who I'm talking to.
That's Gullah Geechee, man.
Gullah Geechee, you gonna get the Geechee Gullah out of you tomorrow.
Hey, man, y'all know what it is, man. Tomorrow, tune in.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna get it in. I'm waiting. That's funny. Man, so y'all know what it is, man. Y'all listen to the drive-by, man.
All right, peace to the chat. Hey, Gullah Geechee, nice meeting you. But it's gonna be a bad day for you tomorrow.
Oh, man. I ain't never seen him have a bad day. When it comes to this, we don't have bad days when it comes to this, do we?
Nah, I beat him up before he used to know it was me then. I beat him up before.
Give them all. We have the Hebrews. Oh, they from West Ham.
Yeah.
Man, don't get the cash app, man. I ain't get one cash app, dude. What is wrong with y'all, man? With all that tight information, man. Y'all talking about, man. Y'all gotta stop playing, man. Y'all gotta leave out, man. What's going on, evolutionist chemist? What's up with you, man? Did our thing, man. Man, hit that cash app going out the door, man. Show some love, man. All right, we're in the game here, y'all, all the way, man. Appreciating everybody, yo. Man, y'all listen to the community skeptics, man. Make sure y'all support all the channels, man. Ain't nothing but love around here, man. Doing our thing, man. Pseudo Killer Official, man. Community skeptics, man. Your host, man. Bobby Banger. Remember, yo, I see you. I see you. Yeah, I see you. Appreciate all the support, man, in the chat. I see you, JJ. Thanks for the love, bro. Yeah. See y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all know what it is, man. We doing our thing, yo. Keeping it right there, yo. We ain't playing. Nope.
Little bird did 20, think he's standing on business. He worried
Hey.
about me, mind his business. When OG was talking, I sat back and listened. That shit broke my heart, but it fixed my vision. Gotta train your mind to be stronger than your feelings. You gotta go hard from the start to the finish. It be damn
Man,
trying to ruin your end.
we doing that thing like we supposed to. Keeping it all sourced up. Make them pull your sources, yo. Tell them pull the sources, yo. Don't just pull that mouth. Talk crazy. Seen a lot of come. Seen a lot of go. Hey. I said I seen a lot of come and I seen a lot of go, man. I'm your host, God Killer. Bobby Banger, man. Make sure y'all support the community septics, man, and the pseudo killers, man. Man, I see y'all in Atlanta, yo. We're gonna be at the daggone Black Geologists, because that's what science advocates do. Oh, man, we're gonna make sure we have some pictures too, yo, while y'all playing and talking crazy. Yeah, we getting it together. I appreciate all the ops, yo, for standing on the corner. Appreciate you. Sitting ducks. Absolutely. With that, I'm out. Yeah.